The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at HMB Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis. It is Friday, October 18th, 2024. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barbers Chat Network on all social media platforms at Barbers Chat Net. Follow HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network, man. You can take your phone right up to the screen. It'll take you to the QR code. It'll take you right to the link. We got 4 different tiers. We got the 79th and Hallis tier. We got the Summer Sessions tier. We got the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. Each one of those 3 tiers for $5. Or if you want to get the All Access tier, which you get everything that is on the Barbershop Network Patreon, that is the $10 All Access tier. And you will also get a 25% off code for first timers for your first order at the bcnetshop.com, which is the Barbershop Network merchandise shop. Get all your I'm Not Gonna Hold You merch, Barbershop merch, 79th and Hallis merch, and get your 79th and Hallis 10th anniversary merch as well, man. We've got a big show for y'all. We haven't been on the air in 10 days because I was out the country, Dante was out the country, so we weren't able to do the show. Dante should be joining us sometime in this hour. But I'm going to bring in my two co-hosts for the day. Well, not for the day, but for the first hour. We got JR Bang and we got Mikey. You can follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito on Twitter, man. How y'all niggas doing, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, but I feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm decent, man. I wish the Bears were playing this weekend, but it's cool to get a little week off of all the stress and all the anxiety that goes in with watching your favorite team on Sundays.
Yeah, I actually missed that this week. Like I don't really know what to do this. I gotta watch actual football that's not the Bears. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
quick question. When was the last time we felt like this about a bye week? It's been a while.
That's a good question.
It's been a long time.
That's a good question. Probably 2018.
Yeah.
But see, the reason I think this is different, I said this the other day to somebody. The reason why I feel like this is different compared to other good starts or good seasons for the Bears is because of the quarterback. Like I think that's the difference. Like even with every other good season they've had in their entirety, it's been the age-old question. If the quarterback don't fuck it up, like can he not fuck it up? That has literally been my entire life as a Bears fan. Then really the entire life of everybody as a Bears fan. Like I'm not going to include Sid Luckman. I'm not including quarterbacks who when there was black only and white only bathrooms, bro. I'm just not going to do that. Like so really, whoever. Like even I know this city loves Jim McMahon, but Jim McMahon was, for the 80s, he was a good quarterback, but he wasn't like Marino or Montana, right. Nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
I would probably take it a step further and say not even the quarterback, but just the offense in general. Like to see that the offense can start out slow. You know, the last 3 weeks, it's not like they jumped out the gate right away and put up 7 on the opening drive, you know? So just seeing the resolve of the offense, seeing that they could bounce back, and, you know, the running game has been working. They've scored some rushing touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. So I would say even more than just the QB, it's just like, oh yeah, we got a good defense, and the offense can show up and kind of carry their side of the workload, if need be.
Yeah, I mean that's also a good point too. Just even the play calling, you know what I'm saying, like over these last couple weeks, and we'll get into the actual how they are at the bye, but I this it's a weird feeling. Now, I don't think any Bears fan really knows how to deal with it, man. But before we get to Bears in a minute, I just want to talk about what happened, what I experienced in London last week. So last week, there you go, see me right there on the field. By the way, I walked out on the field at the same time as Roger Goodell. I'm not even saying this as some stun shit. I did. Me and my brother, we've had because the NFL has new credential scanners. So wherever you go, anywhere, it don't matter if you go into the bathroom, nigga. You got to scan your credentials for every door that's in every NFL stadium. And that green or red light will tell you if you can go in there. The weird thing about my credential is usually for regular game days, I don't get pre-field access. I get post-game access. For this one, I didn't get post-game access, but post-field access, but I got pre. And I found out later that's because they immediately changed it from American football field back to a soccer football field immediately. But the funny thing was a lot of my colleagues or media peers didn't have any field access. So I don't know how me and my brother were one of the lucky ones to be able to be chosen for pre-field access. But it was just cool to be on there be on the field, as you can see right here. This is the part where we were trying to figure out what to do our pregame bit. As you know, well, if you don't know, team security, arena security don't know where anything's at. They didn't know where we supposed to shoot at. So I was like, look, nigga, we just gonna put the camera here and we gonna shoot it here. If they tell us to not do it here, whatever. But as we're getting ready to walk in, Raj Goodell is getting his screened before we do. And so we walk on in. I was gonna say what else, but some lady who was in front of us, like she was like enamored by this nigga. She all in this nigga's face. Like, oh, how you doing, Roger? Yeah, I don't know, like, and Roger Goodell had that look like, shorty, I'm trying to do some work or whatever. But like, she got a picture and she was talking to the nigga for like 10 minutes. So I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna be staying here at the door by the entrance waiting for this nigga to come over here just like to say what up. So
what you thought, Big Raj don't got hoes?
Well, if I did, hey, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of his game. But he was out there. A lot of the teams out there. We was out there with Ryan Poles and Cunningham, and I was comparing the experience from pregame to postgame. Postgame is really nobody out there but the niggas who clean Soldier Field or whoever stadium we're in and other media members. So it was cool to be out there for a little bit. And this is where the picture got taken. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, even though my man Nikhil, who produced today, said he wanted me to throw to spit on it because he's a soccer fan. And shout out our boy Toast, and he said the same thing. That is the most. I thought SoFi was amazing. That's an amazing stadium right there. Now I was cold as hell watching that game. It was about a smooth 48 degrees, but I was like, it's worth it. I'm sitting in the $1,000 seats right now. Like their press boxes were like in the suites. We were literally where the suites were at. So
yeah, that looked pretty dope. That how y'all set up in the press box, that shit was fire.
It was amazing. Yeah.
How is the 48 degrees in London compared to
it's like Chicago?
Day? Okay.
It's like Chicago, but not like sun is out. 40. The sun wasn't out. It was gloomy. So really, how 48 degrees feels here, that's how I felt there. So it was cold. I was freezing, but it was worth it, nigga. Like what I'm saying? As great as the seats were, I'm glad they don't have seats like that at Soldier Field because them niggas play in the winter. So that would be a little bit too much, but that was just dope. But one thing I noticed from my whole trip there is this is my first time out the country. I've never been out the country before. The first time being out there, and the traveling, the flights there was cool. One thing I didn't know is that at least at JFK Airport, there's a bus with Virgin Airlines that takes you from the airline gate to the actual Airbus. You know what I'm saying? So you can get on the plane. So my flight to London was cool. 6.5 hour flight. Was barely nobody on the flight. So whatever seats I had, the flight attendant said you can sit wherever the fuck you want if you don't like that seat. So me and my brother were able to take a row for ourselves. It was cool. I got drunk off the wine they gave us. It was some good food and everything like that. The flight back was a pain in my ass. Like, first of all, I was in Amsterdam for 2 hours. And you know, the time there is like they're even ahead of London, which is nuts. Like, the day's almost over in London right now. And then I was on a flight for 8 hours, but this is a packed flight back to Chicago, a packed flight. And nigga, the worst flight ever, just because it was 20 people over there. And just being on an airplane for 8 hours is not cool. So when the next time I do go out the country for a long place, not like Mexico or something like that, at the worst, I'm doing business. But I was able to see all the stops, all the tourist stuff of the Bears practice and like this manner. It looked like one of Logan Roy's you know, one of his mansions that he had out in Scotland or something like that.
I was at the compound.
Yeah, we was at the compound. It was Hanbury Manor. It's not even in London. It's like almost an hour outside of London, called Ware. So Ware in the United Kingdom, like it's like
Wales. You was in Wales?
No, Ware, not Wales.
I'm about to say, fam, you was out there with the rich folks.
Nah, we wasn't out in Wales. I know what Wales at. We was in Ware, and like this is like countryside, nigga. Like it looked like where Hawkeye's safe house was in Age of Ultron. Like that's how far we was out there. And one thing, like them niggas played Future Plutowski like on repeat for like the full practice time that I was out there, and I'm like, has Future ever been played in the middle of the United Kingdom with nobody out here? Like this might be a first. But that was cool. You know, the food that I heard a number of bad food reviews. Food wasn't that bad to me. You know, they probably need a little more seasoning out there, but it wasn't bad. Fish and chips was good. Every place I went to, the chips was great. As we call them, fries. You know, and one thing I had to do was the math in my head, like euros and American dollars. Something I learned very, very quick. If something's $75 out there, euros is really about 95 American dollars. Their train station is like a mix of New York and Chicago. Like it's a mix of New York because it's more underground, but it's also like Chicago because it doesn't exactly drop you off where you at. You want to do a little walking. So that was kind of, once you got the feel of that was easy to use, but it was a dope time. You know, it was weird to see how other people live. You know, like there's a whole other world, and you know, to see the Big Ben, to see London's Eye, to see the Tower Bridge. You know, it was dope to see. So I enjoyed myself. The actual game day experience was fire. The media food, worst media food I've ever had in my life. And I think it's more the portions more than the actual food. And they don't tell you that like Tottenham's in the hood, my nigga. Like Tottenham's by the projects of London, by the ends. You know what I'm saying? Like it was by the projects. And I found that out when niggas was trying to get back to the hotel. I'm trying to call Uber. There's like mad streets cut off, so we couldn't find an Uber. So we're like, all right, we're gonna take this double-decker bus. The double-decker buses are their actual buses. It's not like a tour bus, it's that they're actual buses. And I was going to meet Dante because Dante was at the game, Pappy was at the game, and it just took me out the way. I had to go from one train station. The train station literally right next to the projects. So just walking past the building, I'm like, look, I ain't never been to London before, but I know a project building when I see a project building. And I looked up later, and I also got clarification that was the projects. But it was a good time, man. And I always knew the Bears had a big fan base, but it don't even really hit you till you see it out the country. That was a 98% Bears crowd. I kid you not. I might have seen 4 actual Jaguars jerseys. The Jaguars, that's supposed to be their home, whatever, even though it was a Bears home game because the Bears had to give up a home game to come. But, nigga, when they came out the tunnel, they got booed. Like, you know, and it wasn't just all Chicago. It's a lot of British fans who were actual Bears fans. A lot of people don't know the Bears were the first NFL team to play in London. So they've got fans back from Super Bowl Shuffle days, and they all came out. It was loud. That bear down Chicago Bears every time it played, and it was just a real dope atmosphere to see all the fans. And then Caleb showed out, and it was just a real dope experience. And how the NFL did everything out there, I thought was pretty dope, at least from my perspective of seeing how they had it out there, man. So it was a fun trip. one thing, I'm glad that I brought the different cores. They got weird outlets out there. Them niggas do not believe in air conditioning out there. And I'm not even a big air conditioning nigga. If you anything know about me, it's got to be like at least 90 degrees for me to cut some air conditioning on. But nigga, them hotel rooms like 100 degrees. I was burning up. So they'll just stuff them niggas. There's a lot of stuff they don't believe in out there in the UK. But it was cool. I had a good time, man. It was good for the Bears to get a dub. And by the way, there's a Nando's out there. And I don't want Pappy went out there. He said, man, I love Nando's. I'm like, nigga, you could have had Nando's anywhere. But no, the UK Nando's is not like the American Nando's. It's way better. It's way better. It's not even remotely close. It's way better. And the Nando's that they had out there was literally like 2 minutes from my hotel. So I spent a lot of time up in that Nando's, man. So
that's why Damson got that card.
Yeah, probably.
What you said.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we got up with Dante. I was hoping Dante would be on the show at the beginning so we could tell his ridiculous story about he got there. And we got our drinks paid for by Bears fans. It's actually, Mikey, when we FaceTime you, dude overheard our conversation. And he was like, y'all are Bears fans? He's like, yeah. He said, man, order these guys around the fucking drinks, man. Whatever they want. We got a flight. He said, how many times we can celebrate like this? How many times we can celebrate our team like this? I was
I love white people like that.
He was like, what he gave the bartender his card. Whatever those guys want, it's on me. You guys have an effing good trip back home. So it was good, man. So, shout out to London. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the fans, the 7 at the Howlers for even, helping to get us there because, nigga, that is not a cheap trip. I can tell you that right now, man. So, let's actually get to the football. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears. We're here in the local hour, man. The Bears are 4-2.
That is the local hour.
Oh, yeah, local hour. There we go. Local hour has begun. The Bears are 4-2, ladies and gentlemen. The crazy thing is they're third in the division because this division is a gauntlet. You got the Minnesota Vikings who are undefeated at 5-0. You got the Detroit Lions are 4-1. Those two meet this weekend in Minnesota. And then you've got the Bears at 3 at 4-2. And you got the Packers, 4th in division at 4-2. And that's because they've already lost a division game to the Minnesota Vikings, man. And this is like I was saying earlier, it's a weird feeling for a couple reasons, at least for me. I don't know how good this team is yet. I want to see them against stiffer competition, and we're actually going to talk about strength of schedule in the local hour too, because the Bears do have the toughest strength of schedule, and that's why I don't really care about strength of schedule coming into the regular season because things change. But the defense is really, really good. They're ranked 6th overall in the league right now. They're top 5 in pass defense, top 7 in top 11 in run defense. 11 in run defense. They're 4th in turnovers. They're doing a lot of great things. The offense started really rough these first 3 games, and they have really picked up ever since that Rams game, and then the Panthers game, and then you got this. And the good thing you see about the evolution, it hasn't been like you said, Mike, since the Rams game where they just came out and it was off the gates. No, it's been progressive each week. When was the last time we've seen back-to-back blowouts from the Bears and the points were all scored on offense? I literally can't remember. Like, not even in 2018. 2018, they never had blowouts. I probably think one blowout in 2018. And
only that Bills game. That Bills game was a blowout and I think that was the Bucs season. But even then, the Bills game was like a couple defensive touchdowns. Yeah,
exactly. There was a couple defensive touchdowns. These are back-to-back 30 points on the quarterback and the offense, man. And so this is a new feeling. This is a new feeling for the Bears. I do feel like the bye week has come at the perfect time. Jaquan Briscoe missed last week with a concussion. Hopefully he should be ready to go next week. Tyreek Stevenson missed with a calf injury. Don't know about that. Calves are very, very tricky. We'll know more on Wednesday when I'm up at Soldier Field, not Soldier Field, but Hallis Hall. And then Kyler Gordon. He left with a hamstring injury as well. So it gives the secondary more time to heal. But you all see this is a deep secondary, man. Elijah Hicks came in, balled out. Josh Blackwell came in, balled out. Like, this game was over in the second quarter. Like, both games, last 2 games were over in the second quarters. I feel like it's a new type of feeling. Once we see them against better talent, I'll fully know what this team is. But one thing I am pretty sure of, I think the Bears have finally found their quarterback. Now, I just want to say he's a rookie. He's going to mess up again. That's just what rookie quarterbacks do. But if you watch him and you watch any game of Justin Fields' 3-year career in Chicago, even now in Pittsburgh, it's like watching a different sport. Like it's that different, and that's why I think why I'm at why I don't really know what word I'm feeling right now. Like it's kind of like wait, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like it's a weird feeling, but I want Bears fans to embrace it and just enjoy the ride because we've got 11 more games left. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of football to be played left as they get ready for the gauntlet of hell. Mikey, what do you think about where the Bears are right now at the bye week and just what you're feeling and how the fan base should feel?
I mean, they're in a really good spot, 4-2, riding a 3-game win streak. Going into the bye, relatively healthy. Brisker obviously out with the concussion, but I think it benefited him sitting out a week and then getting that extra week to rest. So I would expect to hear him being cleared next week. Tyreek Stevenson getting an extra week to kind of nurse that calf injury that popped up on the last day of practice over there in London. And then, we haven't really heard anything on Kyler Gordon, so I'm going to take it as no news is good news. I think if it was anything severe, we would have heard of it. The offense is clicking. The defense is, standing up, doing well. Obviously, the opponents have been on the weaker side, but you make no apologies for who you play. This is showing growth in and of itself that, hey, last year's Bears team would have probably been in a struggle with teams such as the Panthers. Last year's Bears team wouldn't have been able to beat the Rams. And then the Jags probably could have posed some issues, but it all really goes, goddamn, Pete Alonso, 3-run homer in the first inning.
Your stream is way faster than mine.
Yeah.
Now I see it.
Shout out to that YouTube TV for the free ski. But honestly, we're in a good spot with the offense. Selfishly, I wish there wasn't a bye, because I want to see that momentum kind of build up. And I am a little leery of Matt Eberflus with more than 10 days of rest. So we'll get into that though. But I'm feeling really confident. Have 3 winnable games coming up, and then those are probably the last 3 games of the season where they'll be favored in. I think right now they're a 1-point underdog look ahead line to the Commanders, which is basically a pick 'em. But these are the 3 winnable games coming up, and then after that is when the real fun begins with division play and some of the more tougher competition in the NFC.
Bang, man, you had big expectations. You were one of the people who didn't. Well, actually, both you and Mikey stood 10 toes down. I bitched out about the record. How are you feeling right now at the bye, and how you think that the fans should feel?
I feel extremely comfortable after or during this bye week. Players are unhealthy. You get time to get your bearings back. Got the concussion with Brisker. I think I read somewhere that part of the issue with Kyler Gordon when he was injured in the preseason was because of tightness. So you give them some time to sit down, but it did show that we have extremely good depth at the cornerback or the defensive backfield position. I'm not a believer of the weak team narrative. You play the teams that's in front of you. I said during the season preview show, and I've said it here on this show weekly, it's about confidence. You get a team that is going to get comfortable and get confident, they'll mess around to beat anybody. So to me, it's not a matter of who you play, it's how you play them. And like Mikey said, last year, if we would have had that team last year play these teams, we would have been in a close game or lost. It should have been no reason that this team should have been close to the Denver Broncos last year. But we not only lost, they came back and we lost that game. Same thing with the Cleveland Browns. There have been other games last year that you could look at that if it was the Bears team that we had last year, you see what you see what it is. So for this team here, for them to not only go out and win these games, but to blow out Jacksonville, to blow out Carolina, to me, that shows more than just this whole weak team thing. If you're playing against these weak teams and you're playing them close, and that's one thing. But you're supposed to not only beat these terrible teams, but dominate them. And there's not been one game against a lesser opponent that the Bears have played since the Indianapolis Colts game where they have not dominated that game. So I feel extremely comfortable going into this bye week. Now it's time for us to see how we're going to do against upgraded opponents like the Commanders in our divisional games, and even against man. So I feel very comfortable.
Yeah, I think that, I'm with you as far as the weak team narrative, man, because the thing I hate about that is not just football, it's with all sports. Like somebody can have a great game in basketball. Oh, them niggas played the Pistons. Like, oh, them niggas pitched against, White Sox. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that for whatever great game a player or a team has. These are still professionals, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, especially in the NFL, where it's any given Sunday, any team can beat any team. Like the Ravens, as great as they are, niggas lost to the Raiders, my nigga. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we see this happen all the time. And if the Bears would have lost to these teams, it'd be like, oh, fire Eberflus, Caleb stinks.
I even go one better for you, Scott. Somebody once told me, if you blow out the bad teams, you should play the good teams close.
Go 500 with the good teams. That's how you have a good season.
So you beat these terrible teams. It gives you an idea about where your team can stack up against these other teams. And you have a good history with the Detroit Lions. You got decent history with the Minnesota Vikings. So, hey man, like you said, if we would have came out flat, or we came out like the Cincinnati Bengals, we'd be asking for Eberflus' job right now.
Exactly, man. So let's talk about our quarterback, Mr. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams started off, pretty shaky the first couple games, man. It took him till week 3 before he got his first touchdown. But since then, man, he has really, really been finding his groove, man. He has already thrown for 1,300 yards, 1,317 to be exact. That is 14th in the NFL right now. He has 9 touchdowns passing and 5 interceptions. And he looks good. And he's on course. He's on pace to get 4,000 yards. He's on pace to have at least 25 touchdowns passing if he continues on the streak he's on right now. And just look at each week, he's gotten better and better game by game. If you look at the game log, I'm going right, from week 1, this nigga only threw for 93 yards. And then, went to 174, 363, 157, 304, and at 226 on Sunday. And just, it's more than just the stats. He just looks comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Some of the swagger that he had at USC is coming back. And not that it ever went anywhere, because one thing I'll say about Caleb, and I've been blessed to have a front row to watch literally his first day officially in Hallis Hall. We're not counting the 30-man visit, whatever. From his first official day to now, I've been there and I've seen it's gone as the same trajectory as we've seen literally since OTAs. We started a little rough at OTAs, then he got it and it started to look good. He started a little rough in a rookie mini camp, then he got it together. Started a little rough in mandatory camp, same thing, training camp. I remember with mandatory camp, with mini camp, they were talking about all the cadence. We gotta get the cadence together, the offense. Training camp, oh, it's night and day. He knows the cadence. And trade camp started a little slow as well, and he got better. And that's kind of like what we're seeing right now, where now he's just confident. Like the audible, like they give him carte blanche on when to call play. He can do whatever he wants to do with the line, which for a rookie is wildly impressive. And it feels like he's in control. I remember even 2 weeks ago, the first really good game he had against the Rams, and I was like, oh, I loved how DJ had a game, but I want to see more of the other wide receivers. He passed to 7 different guys on Sunday, and each week has kind of been new. Now, we all know it seems like his go-to guys are DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. They're going to get majority of the receptions. They're going to be the ones with the big numbers this season. But we had a Rome game against Indianapolis. We had the DJ game twice. And then this past, we had the Keenan Allen game. I don't think it's any mistake that this offense is taking off since Keenan Allen got back in the lineup. I think that he's a vet and he's a mismatch. And it opens things up for DJ, opens things up for Rome. And I do think Rome is still going to have a great season, and that's just what it feels. It feels like right now we're watching Caleb's floor. And I'm not here to say that he's not going to mess up again. He's a rook. And we saw that in that interception to DJ Moore. And watching it in the stadium, I knew it was a pick the minute it left his hand. So it looked different on the TV call. But watching the stadium, I knew that was going to get picked because he just didn't throw a little further enough. But he learned. And the way he responded to that, he's had 4 straight touchdown drives after that. And the second touchdown to Keenan Allen is not only great for a rookie. I don't know a lot of quarterbacks in the league, period, who can make a pass like that one. And it's just like you're seeing as a Bears fan, like you just said, Shane O'Mac, like this team got me feeling the way I never felt before. I've never seen this. And I think that this floor is wildly exciting to me. And it's going to get better. I think by the time the gauntlet from hell starts, this dude's going to be, it's going to be second nature for him, man. And I think that's been the really exciting part to see. Mikey, what do you think about Caleb's progression and just really these last in the win streak, how he's looked? And do you think this is his floor?
Yeah, I think this is his floor. I think, actually right now he's on pace for about 3,700 and like 26 yards, 26 TDs, and 14 picks. I think if we go back to our preview show, I had 3,700 yards, 25 total touchdowns, and 12 picks. So it's kind of going as good as I thought. I don't think anybody predicted that first game being as terrible as it was, statistically and just from an overall team standpoint for the offense. But he has really put it together since the second half of that Colts game. He looks poised. He looks in control of the offense. Seeing what he's doing at the line of scrimmage and giving him that authority over the check, seeing him call out defenses, seeing him audible. I don't want to be too in the moment, but like we just have to call it like it is. I have never seen that from a Chicago Bears quarterback. I haven't seen Justin do it. I haven't seen the quarterback before him do it. I haven't seen that since the Jay Cutler days. And, that's been over 10 years. To see that from a rookie quarterback, to see that from, a rookie quarterback with the first time OC here in Chicago with the new team, like this is the floor. To speak on that second throw to Keenan Allen, I mean, that's Aaron Rodgers right there. Yeah. That is literally Aaron Rodgers right there. Those are the elite of the elite throws. I've seen some stats that show right now the quarterbacks that free cut. I see
that nigga
free that boy Cuddy. He was trying to, the 2 a.m. trying to get at his ops in Nashville. But from what I see from Caleb, you can see it on the NFL Network, telecast. I mean, Kurt Warner he needed a cigarette break after they zoomed in and they show his eyes. Like, nah, he was legitimately like having a moment. They showed his eyes and Caleb was mouthpiece hanging out. 1, 2, 3, back, boom.
Brother, the eye cam was football porn, bro.
Like, that was he was making some noises over there. I thought Tony Romo was in the booth.
He was like, ooh, he was like, yeah.
Exactly. So, we're seeing exactly what we want to see out of him. I think he's being asked to do things that I don't think any of his other rookie quarterbacks in this class are being asked to do. He's taking on a lot from his role and deservedly so. This is a team that's coming in, with the expectations of winning. When your GM Ryan Post comes out and says it's time to win, and that's how you end Hard Knocks, then that that's the message within the organization. So I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Caleb. Like he's already past the should I go get a jersey test for me. Like he's
Oh, for
bust.
sure. Yeah.
He's for me. He's bust proof. If this is his floor, I was texting my man the other day. I think he's already like a top 12 to 14 quarterback. The way he's playing, and that's crazy through 6 weeks. So it's only going to get better in year 2, year 3, year 5. So we have a lot to be excited for, and let's just hope that he's blessed with good health, and we can continue to see his his star rise.
And also too, I don't know what the current jersey selling was, but I think as early as last month, Caleb Williams had a top 10 jersey selling in the league. I'm looking at right now. No, he's number one. Caleb Williams has a number one highest selling jersey in football at the moment. DJ Moore is number 8, which is pretty odd. And that tracks out, because this is how and then we'll get to Bang. This is how when you've got good current talent. When you go to a sporting event, you go to a bar, and if you see too many legend jerseys,
right,
that tells you your team is trash. Go to a Bulls game. Tell me how many Jordan and Pippen jerseys or Derrick Rose jerseys you see. That's how you know the Bulls stink, because it's nothing but Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah jerseys. Nigga, when I was walking to Tottenham, it was 85% Caleb Williams. Second will be obviously Sweetness. You're gonna always see Walter jerseys, but then you saw Adunze, then you saw DJ. You know what I'm saying? And Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is still a top 5 Bears jersey.
I ain't letting that jersey go.
I wouldn't either. I still miss Khalil Mack. But, Khalil Mack was in there. And then I saw a couple randoms. There was a nigga, when we was at Big Ben, he had on a Akeem Hicks jersey. And I was like, this is the difference you can tell between American Bears fans and UK Bears fans. When I was at the Tower Bridge, when my brother yelled, "Bear down," he was like, and he just, when we was at the Big Ben, I was like, "Bear down." They was like, "Yeah, bro, bear down. Trevor Lawrence sucks." Like, you can tell the difference between American and UK. But yeah, it's Caleb Williams is already Bears fans are making purchases. Like you said, Mikey, he's passed the jersey test. I damn near won one. But Bang, tell me what you feel about what you've seen, Caleb, and do you think this is the floor right now for him?
Boy, I told y'all then. I'll tell y'all now. This is the first time in my history that I am not worried about the quarterback position.
Yep.
This is the first time in my history as a Bears fan where that is the last of my worries. I'm more worried about the offensive line blocking for him. I'm more worried about the running game. I am not worried about shit when it comes to the quarterback position, other than, all right, man, as long as he stay healthy, we're good. This is why I said that by the time we go up against our division foes, we'll be 7-2. I just said we was gonna lose to Washington and the Cardinals. I didn't think we was gonna lose to the Colts and the Texans. I even had the Texans as a win, and those games were winnable.
Hey, Bang. Let me ask you this right now.
Go ahead.
Speaking of your company, I said Bang, not Bang. My girl Bang. She said me. Hey, if we replay week 2 and week 3, don't you feel more confident now, seeing what you like going into those games? And like, that's crazy to
Houston,
say.
bro.
Yeah,
man, we beat Houston and we beat the Colts.
Yeah,
we beat those two.
We stumped Tennessee.
Yes, like everything that I've been saying about this team before the season started is everything to me that's going on right now. I said that the Bears had the opportunity to have a top 5 defense. Scott, where do we rank right now?
The Bears currently rank 6th right now in the NFL defensively.
So I also said if we have a top 5 defense, all we need is the quarterback to be average. That is it. If you have a top 5 defense, really, you just need your quarterback to be average or not turn over the ball. Now, when he turned over that ball against Jacksonville, I also said, yeah, that's a fucking interception. But that's because I was like, no, zip that shit. Then I also said, oh, he ain't messing up again today. Caleb Williams is the first quarterback in Bears history to have a forgetful mind.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is we're normally used to seeing our quarterbacks panic when shit hits the fan. That game could have went.
Jayden had a forgetful mind. He just didn't care. He did it again.
Well, yeah, he just didn't care. Like he cares. Like Caleb cares.
Yeah.
He saw that interception. Damn, I should have zipped that. I ain't making that mistake again. And he proceeded to cut up the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's now in a space where he's not making a lot of mistakes. So if you have a top 5 defense, he's going to get the ball back a lot. The Bears have had a turnover, and I forgot what I saw how many straight games. They have not allowed over 21 points in 8 games now, I believe. Stop it, y'all. We have our quarterback. But not only do we have our quarterback, we have a defense. So I'll say this again, and I'll say this with even more passion. When the fucking last time y'all saw that y'all had a quarterback and a defense at the same goddamn time?
Never.
Playing like they playing right now. I don't give a damn who they playing against. These niggas could be playing against somebody in the CFL right now. We have what we need. Go for it.
Yeah, and that is actually a perfect segue to our next topic, man. What you got? We're about 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. It is be Monday, November 4th, which is hilarious because that is election night. That would be
the busiest day of my life.
That's gonna be a very busy day. It's gonna be one. I'm gonna be like the Paul Pierce gift with the niggas at the All-Star break. You had 2 phones. Like that's gonna be me.
Also, imagine how I'm gonna be.
Right, you. It's gonna be way worse for you.
We can't do no trade deadline special. I ain't gonna.
No, yeah,
cancel me already.
But yeah, man. So we got the trade deadline coming up. We've already seen 2 trades, which we'll talk about in hour 2. With DaVante Adams heading back to Aaron Rodgers and going to the New York Jets. Amari Cooper has been bailed out of the Cleveland jail and will be going to Buffalo. You ain't never seen a nigga happier to be told he going to Buffalo, New York than Amari Cooper. So you got those 2 trades. There's already rumors about are the Browns going to do a full-on sale. Myles Garrett was even talking about, I wouldn't be shocked if I get traded. He said that today. Max Crosby saying, nigga, I'm not trying to be here for a rebuild. And you got the hole that the Lions need because Aiden Hutchinson's out for the rest of the year, and he's probably going to miss some of next year too. But my question to y'all is, it's a 2-part question. Do you think that Ryan Poles is going to make a deadline deal, and should Ryan Poles make a deadline deal? I'm going to go to you, Bang, first because you said the time is now.
I don't think they will, but I think they should. The reason why is that Carolina pick. If the Bears continue on the path that they are on right now, they're going to have a pick around 15th, 20th. Hopefully that pick gets later than that. But the way Carolina is playing, you're going to have the top pick in the 2nd round. So if you believe that you're going to be competing for a playoff spot, you can shore up the offensive line in free agency and still handle that in the draft, because this will be a deep draft for offensive linemen. So since it's going to be a deep draft for offensive linemen and free agency is going to be a bit decent, I'm either looking at my first, which I predict to be late, or that Carolina Panthers 2nd round pick, or maybe you package that 2nd round pick and something else to go get Crosby. It's probably going to take you a couple of 1s to go get Myles Garrett. But when I look at somebody like Max Crosby, I think you could get him for that 2nd pick that Carolina gave, and maybe a little bit to sweeten the pot, and you could get Max Crosby and let's say a late round pick back. Ian Cunningham is probably going to get a job this year, so you're going to get some conditional picks because of the way that the rules set up with minority hirings and stuff. So you're going to get some picks from him too. So I think the Bears are set up to go get somebody now. So along with that, you don't want Detroit to go get a Max Crosby. You don't want that at all. So if I'm the Bears, I'm looking at that other side. It's pretty decent, but I wouldn't mind them adding to that defensive line and going to get Max Crosby. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind it though.
I also don't think one thing we know about Ryan Poles is he's very unpredictable. We do know he's very close to getting Matthew Judon, which at this point, I'm not that mad they missed out on him. I've been watching a lot of Falcons games. I mean, Judon's been good, but it ain't been like flash off the page type good. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Ryan Poles is gonna make a move. I don't know if it's gonna be defensively. I think he's gonna make a trench move. I don't know if it's gonna be offensive line or defensive line. I do believe there's gonna be some offensive line.
It's gonna be very hard for you to trade for an offensive lineman during the season.
There's gonna be a couple available though. There's gonna be
but the situation with that, I would say, is they've already given up capital for Ryan Bates, so that is their. It's the very it's the Rick Highway, like, oh well, we get better, at the deadline by getting people back healthy.
Larry Bohm and Ryan Bates.
You get Larry Bohm, you get Ryan Bates back. I don't really see them really adding to the offensive line, but I do agree with you, Scott. I think it does have to be trenches. I just don't think it needs to be of the Max Crosby caliber. I think it needs to be somebody more along the lines of kind of like a run stuffer, maybe somebody like an A'Shawn Robinson out of the Los Angeles Rams, somebody that we're familiar with. He was up with Detroit the last couple years, playing for the Rams. They're obviously not really going anywhere. I don't think it would cost crazy capital for that. When you look at our defense, you're looking at the one weak spot being so far through the defense is actually, the run game. And I think if you could go ahead and get somebody in there a little bit, of a run stopper, somebody to fill that gap, I think that will make everything else better. Because you also have to look at, we're getting into the point of Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon extensions. We're looking at a possible TJ Edwards extension. We're looking at money needing to be spent on next year's offensive line. Francisco Lindor just missed one. On next year's offensive line, because I don't know about y'all, but I think we need 3 new offensive linemen next year. I think you need
100%. Every draft you need an offensive line.
You need to remove the left tackle and get an upgrade there, whether that's Karan Amagaji in-house or you draft somebody high. Tevin Jenkins will not be back with the Chicago Bears, and Coleman Shelton should not be the center next year if you have championship, deep playoff run aspirations. So I don't think that they need to be thirsty to go all in for somebody. This team right now can't really afford to have 2 high-priced, defensive ends. I think you can make a move similar to the Darrell Taylor move with the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of people were kind of like, who? And he's proved to pay dividends, and it wasn't
Chris
really
Williams too.
Right. And it wasn't, like an exorbitant, a cost and price of doing business. I think you need to keep that Carolina 2nd round pick, because next year is going to be an offensive line heavy draft. I think you still probably with your 1st round pick, whichever way it turns out, depending where it's at, you're either going defensive line to get you, another defensive line player in the draft, or offensive line. And then you're doubling back, probably 9 to 10 picks later, probably, filling out that other need. So I think Ryan Poles is obviously answering the phone, seeing what he could do. I just don't think it's gonna be like a big splash name. But I definitely think that they will add at the deadline.
See, the thing is, well, real quick, Scott, the draft when it comes to on the defensive line side is definitely not what it's going to be like in years past. Now, offensive line, this is going to be a good offensive line draft. But considering where not only you are, but where everybody else in your division is, that's why a move might be important. Because the worst part of this whole thing with Caleb Williams, I'm glad that we got him. I love how the team is looking. But the worst part about this is every team in the North is young. Every team. The Bears don't even have, with all they have, the Green Bay Packers is one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in the NFL. I think Minnesota and Detroit are a bit older, but they're not older to the point where people going to be older, decrepit in the next 2 years. So you're not only competing with these teams for this year, you're competing with these teams for the next couple of years. So it's probably even more important than ever if they continue on this streak until we get to November 4th to really think about that, because the draft is not going to be strong in one area of need. It might be great to have a platoon there because Taylor's been doing good. We've seen some glimpses of Austin Booker. But if you have somebody on that other side of Sweat, it's going to not only open him up, but it is going to open up that interior more because you're not going to be able to double team anybody on that line at all, which is going to get your linebackers better. And we already have the best defensive backfield in the NFL. That's the scary part, though. Everybody in your division is not only good, but they're relatively young. So you have to think about the whole thing.
And that's why I think everything's on the table. Like, I think that when it comes to, because of the rest of the division, like, you know, Detroit's gonna be in the Max Crosby talks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna try to get it to fill in for Aiden Hutchinson. And
let me ask you this. I know everybody's, you know, horny for Max Crosby. What incentive do the Raiders have to trade him?
There's no incentive for them to trade him.
There's no incentive to trade him. He's literally their only draft pick, mid-round draft pick that they developed over the last like 5 years that has actually turned out to be something. You still need to get seats, you know, butts in the seats. He's under contract. The Bears probably do not have the cap space to absorb that contract plus Sweat's contract, plus, you know, try to spend on free agency and O-line next year. So, you know, like the Lions, for one thing, like Brad Holmes, the GM for Detroit Lions, he's always said it, like, I'm going to build through the draft. And this week he went ahead and he rewarded one of his draft picks. I forgot the kid's name, but he gave him a 4-year extension.
Yeah, nice extension.
You know, obviously Hutch is going to be out, but there's going to be some other people on that team that they're going to have to start paying too, that I don't know if I think it's going to be a blinking contest, you know, like who's going to blink first. But I don't think Max Crosby is really like obtainable there. I do maybe in the off season, but I do think somebody like Myles Garrett, you know, is somebody that's going to be out there. I mean, we talked about Khalil Mack. How would y'all feel if the Bears went and made like a trade
I would love it.
Of a lesser level, you know, not a superstar, but if it gave up a day 3 pick for, you know, like the Robert Quinn trade, you know, when you pick up somebody like that to be like, hey, just be a situational pass rusher. Like, would you guys be cool with that?
Look, man, I was actually just gonna bring that up. I would be, if let's just say Khalil Mack. Let's just say, even though I know the Chargers is decent right now, let's just say Khalil Mack. I would love that. And I personally, I think, Mike, you laid out all the perfect points. I think the only difference it is with Detroit is also on a time limit at the same time because it's the NFL. I don't believe there's such thing as windows in the NFL. When you got a chance to get it, nigga, you better go over there and get it. The let's be 100% real. The Detroit Lions, they were supposed to be in the Super Bowl. They blew that lead. They had no business losing that football game. If Dan Campbell even takes one field goal, they win the game and they go to the Super Bowl to play a team they already beat. Now, I think Kansas City would have beat them anyway, but still, you don't want to blow another opportunity. As much as Brad Holmes says he wants to, much as Brad Holmes said, I want to build in the draft, they know the time is ticking. Like, you know, Jared Goff, you know, ain't necessarily young either, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at the rest of the division, you know, whether Sam Darnold's young. Sam Darnold's younger than Joe Burrow. So he's young. Even if Sam Darnold leaves and go cash out somewhere, JJ McCarthy's young. You know what I'm saying? Caleb's young. Jordan Love is young. So these quarterbacks way younger than Jared Goff. And so I do believe that if there's any team that's going to be who would maybe pay a little more, it would be Detroit, especially with Aiden Hutchinson. So if you're Ryan Poles, and I think as Bears fans, the good thing that we can know is that Ryan's not going to give up the farm just to get a Max Crosby. And the Lions are about 2 years ahead of the Bears on the rebuild. So, you know, Myles Garrett to me, I'm not even thinking about. Like, I think Myles Garrett ain't even. You're going to have a couple firsts to give up Myles Garrett. Now, I don't think any team.
That's the Khalil Mack trade.
Yeah, I don't think any team in the North.
To get him, you got to do that.
Yeah, I don't think any team in the North is going to try to get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett probably go to a random team if he does get traded. But
now, Mikey, I do got to disagree with you.
Let me just say,
Mikey, I do got to disagree. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this real quick.
Because I think it was on the delay. My bad.
I do believe that I think there's going to be a trade made. I think it's probably going to be a lesser move. Like, it wouldn't shock me if it was like a Khalil Mack or somebody to that stature. But I believe all things are on the table that is not Myles Garrett. It would not shock me if we're sitting here in 2.5 weeks doing a local hour and Max Crosby is the hell is all. Would not shock me whatsoever, even though I don't see it. Even if Ryan Poles knows it's a little pricey, but that nigga's about to go to Detroit. I can't allow that. So that's why I feel everything's on the table.
Real quick, the only reason why I disagree with you, Mikey, the only reason why I disagree with you with Max Crosby is the Raiders look at the position that they were in these last 2 years. They were in the running to get that number 1 pick instead of Carolina, and they was trying to get up to get Jayden Daniels. They've been, for the last 2 years, on the outside looking in on a position that they need the most, the quarterback position. If you could get you an extra first, or you could get that high second, depending on where they fall. When the season is over with, you could probably package their one along with something else to move up to get Shador, Carson Beck, or any other quarterback that might be in that top 10 range. So that's the only reason these last 2 years they found themselves on the outside looking in on the quarterback position. This may give them an opportunity to get them the quarterback that they need.
Yeah, very true. But then you have to look at, a team like the Carolina Panthers as a case study. You give up, your star players, what you have in your draft capital, and you go all in on the quarterback. But if that quarterback's not good, then you're fucked. Back-to-back years, the Panthers went and got rid of DJ Moore. Then you get rid of Brian Burns, and we see where they are. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we know that there's a new ownership group in there. They got Tom Brady's voice in there. So it's going to be interesting to see. I just don't see Max Crosby being moved during the season. But I definitely think he can be somebody to talk about, come next year, and you have a little bit more clarity of your books and what future draft picks you have coming in, via maybe Cunningham leaving, etc. But I just don't see, a player of that caliber being, moved to the Bears this year.
And we have Tiger Hoods officially joining us. Did you
Yes.
get
Yes, good brother. The clubs are ready. We'll be out there. We out here.
Dante is back. You can follow him at October Zonte on Twitter, man. We were just talking about trade deadline.
You buying the gel glass, Dante?
No, bro.
You buying the gel glass, man?
I don't like saying shit like this because then Bang will try to talk about me. But because I moved, the glare off the buildings it now hit different.
The glimmer off the buildings.
I got
to look like he in a jail. He can record live from the county, right?
Yeah, but no, to answer your question real quick before I close these blinds, I think we probably won't make a major move unless we get another team that just is ready to sell. Like if the Cowboys said they want to move some things around, then we could possibly see, with Khalil Herbert. We've been talking about that all season, but that's a guy I could see moving, to Dallas. But for the most part, I think with the success of the defensive line and the way that they've played so far this season, he's going to, really try to hold those assets and save those to upgrade the offensive line. So for right now, you're a funny nigga, but no. But right now, I think the Bears are happy where they are because don't get me wrong, even if we don't end up winning in the division, because we still have this gauntlet of a schedule remaining. I think as long as you continue to see progress with Caleb and everybody that you have invested in, then you can go ahead and take those picks and go and fix your offensive line. So for right now, I don't see them making a major move unless somebody just says, fuck it, we selling. And then they'll try to do something.
Let's move on to a budding rivalry. Our next game, the Bears' next game, Bears Commanders, has been flexed. The first flex game of the season, and I believe will not be the last flex game of the season. Has been moved from who is fighting static right now. I think it's Dante's microphone. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So anyway, it got flexed from the noon spot to the 3:30 spot on CBS. That means the game will be called by Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. Be the battle of the first two picks in the 2024 NFL Draft. Jayden Daniels and our boy Caleb Williams. Jayden Daniels Nikhil, you can give me the main shot right here. I gotta say this, man. And this is not even this is not Jayden's fault. This is the media's fault, and this is his fan base fault. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it. I have done nothing wrong. I am sick and tired of the Jayden Daniels propaganda that is being spread across the media, national media, and on social media. Now, am I sitting up here and saying that Jayden Daniels isn't worthy of praise? No, I would be a hater by saying that. Jayden Daniels is having an amazing rookie season. Way better than I thought. You know what I'm saying? I did not think he was going to come off this well. He's having a good year. I just want some balance. Now, as Mikey said before, I know Mikey's going to say again, they just don't like our boy Caleb. Even before the Bears, he wasn't liked when he was at USC. So add the Bears tax onto that, I get it. But am I asking too much for actual coverage? How come when Jayden lights up weak teams, and by the way, the teams that he's litting up, the New York Football Giants, the Cincinnati Bengals, who might have the worst defense in football. You also go, as good as the Baltimore Ravens are, they have got the 29th ranked passing defense in the NFL. We'll be here all day. So how come when he plays good against them, it's all good? But when Caleb plays well against the Rams and the Panthers and the Colts defense and the Jacksonville Jaguars, oh, it's the Jaguars, you know? And I was very enraged about Jayden winning Rookie of the Year, but then I found out that it's fan voting. And maybe Bears fans have a little more lives than Commanders fans. I know there's a lot more stuff to do in Chicago than there is in D.C. So maybe that has something to do with you niggas just want to stay at your computer and vote all day. But I am seeing something where I'm going to have to be mad at this nigga because of what y'all doing to Caleb. And I don't like it. Now, there's no win on the schedule that I want more than the Green Bay Packers wins. I want it more than I can breathe air. But if there's any win that I want almost as close to it, it's the Commanders game. Because in the words of Baltimore legend Snoop Pearson, it's way too much talking going on. Niggas need to shut the fuck up. That's what's been going on. And I'm tired of it. I want a Bears win next week. I want a Caleb Williams great game. And I want Jayden Daniels to see what it's like to play up against an actual good secondary with Jalen Johnson, who is to the point in shutdown corner. Niggas don't even look at his way anymore. With Tyree Stevenson, with Kyler Gordon, with Kevin Byard, who, by the way, having a fantastic year, with Jaquan Brisker, with those two linebackers of TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. And I want him to go up against that front seven with Montez and Gervon and Darrell Taylor playing CTE ball coming at you. What's it going to be like then? You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. And let's be real, the NFL loves this. The NFL, and honestly, I think it's great for the sport. And I'm not saying that one has to be better than the other. Who says this can't be a great NFL draft? Why do everything has to be CJ Stroud and Bryce Young when one's great, the other's a bum? I think both of these dudes are going to be great. I said on the show last time we was on, we might be watching the new Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. But all I'm asking for is a little bit of honesty when it comes to breaking down these quarterbacks. Now, I know Mikey's going to say it, so I'm just going to say, I know I'm not going to get that. Maybe I'm asking too much, but I see what's going on in Jayden Daniels, who are officially my mortal enemy. I'm going to go to Mikey. What do you think about this? You've even seen a little bit more on social media as much as I have with what's been going on between the coverage of these two.
Man, listen. Deserve ain't got nothing to do with it, is how I feel. Like, it just is what it is, man. Like, people do not fuck with Caleb. We already know that people have their preconceived notions of him. I've seen some crazy nicknames for him. Some of them are kind of fucking funny. But it's just going to have to be something where he has to win people over with his play. He just has to leave no shadow of a doubt that, like, yo, I walked into DC, my hometown, and I took over their trap. They were talking all this shit. They're probably gonna be 5-2, you know, when we play them, because they should beat the Panthers. They should, but like you said, this is the NFL and anything can happen. So, like I would love nothing more than Andy Dalton to go in there and
Oh,
fucking light them
oh,
up.
oh.
You know,
I
that's
think
a
I will
terrible
be there.
secondary.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just kind of gonna be like that. I think we're also in the crosshairs with social media and two star franchises that have been in the dumps as far as quarterbacks. You know, these are two franchises that really, really need it. Um, and it, you know, and there was that talk that was, you know, going on before the draft from guys like Dan Orlovsky, guys like Booker McFarland saying, I would take Jayden Daniels one. So they were saying it and we were laughing, but his play is kind of backing it up now. It's to the point where I'm going to let these people on the internet talk. You got to remember, half of these people with Jayden Daniels Avies are 17 years old, 16 years old. They don't know shit. And I'm going to just let it play out on the field. But I think throughout the course of time, what we're seeing from the two quarterbacks is very different. I will give Jayden Daniels his props. I think he throws probably the prettiest deep ball in the NFL today. And he's pretty accurate with it. We know that so far has been Caleb's probably number one downfall in the passing game, is he hasn't been able to connect on those big explosive pass, 30 yards. But I think it's gonna come. For me, I'm just gonna kind of like remove myself from that. Just know, y'all, I have a lot of fucking bookmarks saved from fucking Commanders fans. And I got a fucking whole album of videos and GIFs and memes for y'all asses next week. Do not let the Bears win next week, because I will be insufferable. They will ban me off of Twitter because the talk has been crazy. They're not calling it down the middle. The Bengals are fucking terrible. That game was on both sides. I think there was no punting. There wasn't even a punt on both sides. The Giants fucking stink. The Browns stink. The Cardinals stink. The Cardinals are last. I want to say the Cardinals are like 28th. The Commanders are like 29th. Like they're back there. Their secondaries and their pass defense are back there. So it's like y'all
Ravens are like 30th.
And the Ravens are back there as well. So it's like y'all are not being, objective when y'all call this, and that's fine. That's cool. I'm just gonna keep watching my quarterback make plays, and we're gonna see now. We're gonna go. I'm really excited for this game because I also feel like this game means a lot to both teams, because one thing that you can see is both locker rooms are riding for their rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, especially in Chicago, they're going to ride for Caleb in D.C., his first game back home. And I know that they're going to try to go ahead and prove a point, like, now our guy is better than yours, and vice versa. So I think we're going to
be in your house, nigga. There's going to be a lot of Bears fans up in there.
Exactly.
Bang, man. What you think about the Bears? I know that's going to be an interesting week for you because you stay out there, man.
Hey, y'all answer this question for me. Put everybody back on the screen. Last time the Bears played, what happened to the Commanders?
Beat the shit out of them.
Smacked them.
So they still mad about that. So let's first get that out the way. And I know that to be fact because I'm in a group chat with nothing but niggas from the DMV that I worked with. They still mad at the fact that my Chicago Bears went in and whooped their ass with now the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and DJ Moore. So let's first say that. The second thing is, Mikey, the reason why I said I didn't agree with this whole weak team thing is because we went against weak teams. What the fuck did the Washington Commanders go up against?
Right.
Weak teams.
Yes.
So you can't say that about Caleb and the Bears and be on Jayden Daniels nuts. Now, the last thing I'll say is this. For people like Ryan Clark and Booger McFarland, I don't know who Ryan Clark fucks with, but they all went to LSU. So them folks that went to LSU gonna stick by LSU. I ain't worried about them. But this is to everybody else, to Chris Canties and all of those people. Don't fuck up and see the Bears whoop their ass. Because y'all have not been giving Caleb Williams the same credit that y'all been giving Jayden Daniels.
Yep.
Don't fuck up and they win. If Caleb goes to Washington, to Landover, Maryland, y'all,
and say, "This is my house,"
and whoops that man's ass and says, "This is my house," I don't want to hear shit from nobody but Mia Copas. The one thing that I will say is that this game to me, just like I talked about the division, the reason why I can't wait for this game is when have we ever had a conversation about the Bears going up against somebody and the greatness of the quarterbacks been the conversation?
Never.
Never.
Ever.
So I am really glass half full on this. Like the outside, the media.
Bears have never been in a quarterback duel.
Yeah, like the media and shit get on my nerves on the way they swing on Jayden Daniels' dick. But kill Caleb for the same shit that Jayden is doing. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just happy that we're involved in this conversation, Jack.
Yeah.
And to be involved in the conversation to where I said this on a show a couple of weeks ago that the Bears and the Commanders were actually a rivalry in the 80s. They did not like each other. Yeah. So this is turning back to that shit. There's going to be people like Doc Walker. Shouts out to Doc Walker out there in D.C. Shouts out to Brian Mitchell and others who I've talked to, and they said they hated the Bears. They hated playing at Soldier Field. They hated when they came here. They wanted to put Walt on his ass. They wanted to put Jim McMahon on their ass. The Hogs going up against the Monsters of the Midway was a battle. Now this time we have two of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL who may be going up against each other for years to come. Imagine a battle 15 years of Caleb Williams versus Jayden Daniels. Imagine the battles against those two, and it's the NFC Championship that's on the line. Yo, I can't wait to see the growth of these two quarterbacks and how they may be able to set up their teams for success for years to come. But other than that, fuck these media niggas, man.
Dante, man, close out on this topic.
I mean, the Bears sacks, we talk about it time and time again. It's very real. And then when you have a personality like Caleb, you should expect it. But I'm excited for it. I think we should, like we've been saying, that we've been preaching since the start of the season, Bears fans need to embrace this. You know, usually it's the conversation is about us having a great defense and being a doormat, you know what I'm saying, and not having enough despite of the great defense. And now we've seen the potential that's here. I understand they've played bad teams. They both played bad teams. So for me, now that we know how much of the media relies on just the whole outrage, we talk about this. They know Bears fans are very passionate. They know once we get disrespected, you're going to have people who take to the comments, who are going to come watch your show, drive your views up. So they keep pushing, they keep prodding. And then also with Jayden Daniels, you know, just depending, I know somebody mentioned Ryan Clark in the comments, you know, Ryan Clark went to LSU. So, you know, it's also those biases that I built in. Whereas, you know, people may not like Caleb, may not like USC or anything like that. So when you take all that into account, bro, it doesn't bother me at all. It's not something that really matters to me. I think more than anything, as fans, we are fortunate to have two really good quarterbacks go 1 and 2. You know, every few years this happens. And, you know, only time will tell. But from what it looks like right now out the gate, we have two really good quarterbacks that are going to, you know, help their teams compete for what looks like to be playoff position. So I'm more focused on that, and I'm going to enjoy that. And I think Caleb is going to go in there, and personally, I think Caleb is going to beat their ass. Like, and I think it's a thing where, like, you have so many people who like don't watch the game. They just watch box scores. They just see the numbers, and they'll say, "Oh, well, he has this." We don't have the chart right now, but I think Jayden was like number 1 or at least top 3 and like going to his first read. Like he's his first read. And with Jalen Johnson on your right side, that
first read is gone, my boy.
It's gone. So we're gonna see what type of quarterback he is. So I'm really excited for this game because I think on both ends, Caleb is gonna shock some people, and Jayden is gonna be the first time people really question, like, all right, are we gassing this dude? Because he is good. I'm not gonna say he's not good.
But also, one thing, I think the defense is going to get pissed off, too, because ain't nobody talking about them niggas. It's the Caleb Jayden. Niggas like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's one, too. And
bring up, what's the Commanders' defensive rating? With
they're like 27, bro. They're not a good defense. And on top of that, Jonathan Allen's out.
I'll tell you right now, the Commanders right now are 28th in defensive DVOA. So that's a mixture of, and they're giving up 354 yards per game and 24.2 points per game. They're 28th. We're going up against the Cardinals the next week, 23rd. Going up against the Patriots the following week, 29th. Like we can stack them up. We already know this offense can put up points with the best of them. So we have a nice little runway and stretch to kind of do some damage in.
Definitely, man. We got a couple more topics before we wrap up the local hour, which is actually a local hour and a half today because we have so much to talk about. I want to talk about the strength of schedule, and I really just want to kind of get, Bang, your thoughts on this because we were talking. The strength of schedule was one of your big point of emphasis during the preseason. The Bears went from having one of the easiest schedules to now, they have the number one toughest schedule left in the NFL. Of course, like we just said, got the Commanders next week, and you got the Cardinals in Arizona. You got at the crib against the Patriots. Those are three winnable. Then you got Packers in Chicago, Vikings in Chicago. Then you go to Detroit for Thanksgiving. Then you go to San Francisco to play the Niners. Then you go to Minnesota to play the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Back home to play the Lions. Back home to play Seahawks on Thursday Night Football the day after Christmas. And then you end the season in Lambeau Field. So, Bang, my question to you, because I've always said that strength of schedule is something that's honestly don't matter that much because with the NFL, it's such a year-to-year league. You don't know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad each year. Like, does anything change for you with the strength of schedule now being the toughest for the Bears?
No, because I knew it was going to be the toughest once we get close to the division games. Like we knew the only thing about the division that's new to us is Minnesota's success. But outside of Minnesota's success, we knew that Green Bay was going to be good. We knew that Detroit was going to be good. We knew that the 49ers was going to be good. Outside of that, the only other team that we didn't see doing well, matter of fact, no, let me rewind that. I said that the Washington Commanders was going to be a surprise good team in the NFL this year. So outside of that, I have no faith in the Arizona Cardinals. I have no faith in the New England Patriots. And who else we play after that?
After that, you play the Cardinals up there. Then of course that's when the 8 game.
Yeah. And then so it's Cardinals, Cardinals, Patriots. Then it goes into Packers. Packers, Vikings, Lions, Niners, Vikings, Lions.
So So no, it's my thoughts don't change because my thoughts was that the Bears was going to be 7-2 going into the bye. Not the bye, but going into the division games. The Bears are 4-2 right now. I believe that the Bears could and should win the next 3 games. Y'all just told us what the defense of these teams look like. The Bears, if the Bears do anything like they've been doing for the last 3 games, they should cut up those defenses right there. So we knew in the back half of the year, that's where all of the hard games are going to be. So no, it does not change anything. In fact, for me, it reinforces everything that I've said. You take care of the teams that you're supposed to beat, and you play up and you play close against the teams that you're not supposed to beat, allegedly. You play them close and you beat them. The Bears still got that.
Let's go to these last 2 topics that are non-Bears related, man. Lonzo Ball made his return to the court. Like I said, my Bulls boycott is still going on, despite the fact that I do have a Bulls hoodie on right now. And even if I wanted to watch the Bulls, I can't watch them because Chicago Sports Network think this is 1997 and the niggas gonna get an antenna to watch them, which is a terrible rollout, by the way. But Lonzo Ball made his preseason return. First time he's been on the court in 2.5 years, bro. Has been on the court since March of 2022. He went out there and he played really, really good for a nigga who ain't been on the court. Had 10 points, had like 5 assists. The 3 ball was still working. And he said he had no pain and he has a completely new knee. And it was really actually good to see the love that he got from the team and from the city. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was dope. And I feel like was handled a lot better than the Derrick Rose situation. Now, obviously, these are 2 different things. The Bulls were in the middle of a championship window. So I guess there's a little bit more of an urge to get him back on the court. But, for a nigga that don't really care about the Bulls right now, I thought it was a dope moment. And I do feel like, I think just from watching that game or the highlights of the game, I saw that I still stick with what I stick with. I'm not saying the Bulls would have won a championship or anything like that, or even the Eastern Conference Finals. But I do believe if he was healthy these last two seasons end a lot differently. That team was number 1, number 2 in the Eastern Conference when he went down. Just the way the team would have moved so differently with him in the lineup. You know, DeMar gets easier shots, Zach gets easier shots, and you just saw that right there. Now I don't know what the plan is for Lonzo this year. It wouldn't even shock me if they trade him. I know this is a very, very guard heavy team with Lonzo, with our Giddy, as we want to call that nigga, and you got Zach LaVine and Kobe White, Ios, a lot of guards out there. So I believe they're going to trade a couple of those, but it was just good to see him out there, good to see him get the love. And more than anything, I just hope he's able to get through an entire season of playing, because this dude couldn't even walk up the stairs. Like, so outside of just basketball, it was good to see him out there, man. I don't know what the Bulls plan is for him, but I thought that was dope to see. Dante, man, I know we was also joking around saying we didn't think he was going to play again. What did you like to see from what you did see of him in this preseason game?
You see why he was so greatly missed on this team. Like the hockey assist, just constantly pushing the ball up court, even though it looked like he wasn't really trying to push it too hard. He was just, really just getting his feet wet, getting into a rhythm. The jumper, the 3-pointer is still there, which is something that, all of the work he put in as a shooter, he was shooting 40% from 3, league average is 36. So that's really good. And so that's something that the Bulls have leaned it for years. They've usually at the bottom at 3-pointers made, like as a matter of fact, I think last season they made the least amount of threes and they gave up the most threes. So having somebody like Zoe back who can not only knock down threes, but stop the other team from hitting threes, that's big. And so, I mean, it's just unfortunate because now we finally at a time where I actually wouldn't be mad if they were bad and ended up with a 3rd pick instead of the 1st pick, because it's enough talent at the top of the draft and you can get a really impactful player. But as is, I think this team looks like a play-in team. You feel me? Like, and that's what we don't want, but that's what they look like, and that's what they don't mind doing. And it is what it is, bro. But I'm happy for Zoe.
I'll say this: I do not believe the team that we see right now is going to be the team that I feel like it's going to be a lot of niggas traded. And that's just not that's not no Bulls optimism or nothing, but I do not see. Especially Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine and Vooch are going to be gone eventually. I would be shocked if Zach LaVine is still on this team come Martin Luther King Day. I'm going to be 100% right. I think it's just a matter of time. Bang, any thoughts on this before we move to our last topic?
I mean, of course, I didn't see the game because
nobody can see the game. Yeah.
But it was good to see the highlights of him back on the court. Hell, it was so good seeing the highlights, considering what we saw with Kawhi Leonard. It's like, yo, who got the better knee? Lonzo or Kawhi? And does Kawhi got to do the same thing?
Shout out Big Tech Y. He like, nigga, you gonna pay me, bro, to not play anything.
But as far as the team goes, I think it's still a jag for flag pause type of situation. I think that the pieces, I am excited to see more about this team because the young pieces that they do have on the team looks like they're going to be competitive. They're just going to lose a lot of games. And I'm one of those people that if you just got a bad team and they just bad with no hope, then I ain't going to pay attention. Yeah. But I do see what the potential can be, especially in this draft where this draft is not just 1 to 2 people. The first part of this lottery have stars in it. So excited to see what might happen, but it was great to see him on the court and be successful on the court too. And he got a whole new ass set of ligaments in his knee.
Monday will be a big NBA show, which means Mikey will get the whole final hour off. Big NBA show. We've got the homie Kaz will be joining us on Monday. You know, he's gonna be talking this Knicks shit. The homie Big Waz will be joining us as well, and then Pavi will be back for his
the famous Big Waz.
The famous I see my nigga Waz on the Black Quarterback documentary. I was like, I know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he'll be here. So we got a packed show on Monday. A lot of NBA stuff. Waz, Kaz, and Pavi will be back on there, man. But let's get to our final topic of the local hour. White Sox, Chicago White Sox. By the way, it looks like my adopted team, the Dodgers, they're going to have to clinch at Chavez Ravine because the Metropolitans is giving it to them right now, which I'm sure that Dodger fans will prefer anyway. I can't remember the last time they clinched anything at Dodger Stadium. Probably since the 80s, niggas. So I know that's gonna be a lit crowd over the weekend. But the Chicago White Sox. News that a lot of White Sox fans want to hear that owner Jerry Reinsdorf is considering selling the team, and that he is in negotiations with Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart is part of a minority-led team that's been trying to purchase a team and to move it to Nashville. Even tried to buy the Oakland A's. Of course, he is a former Oakland A himself. Whoever's in the background, that is a fine. This nigga Dante, that's a fine for wrestling the microphone. But
I be fucking up. My bad.
Dave Stewart, final player. He's been not negotiated, but the guy who's in negotiations. Now, we discussed this a little bit in the group chat, and I this is just me. This is just my White Sox pessimism, and just because I know Jerry Reinsdorf. I don't buy a second of this. I would love for it to be true. I said 13 months ago when me, Mikey, and Dante did we gonna pick a new team thing, and I was the only nigga that actually followed through. I said that one or two things have to happen for me to come back. One, Jerry Reinsdorf had to die, or two, they had to sell the team. So if they do sell, I will be back home. I will be back home if they sell and the team stays in Chicago. And I think that is an important thing here. To me, I think this is just a leverage to try to get something from the city of Chicago, from the state of Illinois, to try to get that stadium. I do not think it's going to work because I don't think Chicago's going to give a stadium to them or the Bears. I think both of them niggas aren't getting anything. No matter how hell-bent TED Talk Kevo is to have the new Bear Stadium on the lakefront, I don't think either one of those is going to happen. But if it does sell, I don't think it's set in stone that the team's going to stay in Chicago. Dave Stewart has been trying to get a team to Nashville. It would not shock me if he tries to do that. And even if he does decide to stay in Chicago, he's a Jerry guy. When he became general manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple years ago, who was the nigga he had as baseball advisor? Tony La Russa. He's La Russa guy. So to me, it kind of looks more of the same. Now, would I give him a chance as an owner? Maybe he does things a little differently. Sure. He deserves a clean slate. So as a White Sox guy, I hope that this is true. I want it to be true more than anything. I know White Sox fans want this to be true. I just don't buy it. And until the actual papers are signed and it's announced that the team is signed and they're staying in Chicago, I don't buy it. I'm going to go to Mikey, man, and we only got a couple minutes, so I don't want to make this too long. But Mikey, what's your thoughts on this?
No, I think two things could be true. I think it could possibly be, somewhat of a power play with the city of Chicago to try to entice them to try to play ball, pun intended, on, possibly helping them get a new stadium deal. As we know that their lease expires in 2028 over on the south side. I also think if you read the tea leaves and if you listen to Jerry Reinsdorf over the last 3 years on what he said about ownership and what he said specifically about baseball, I think he is inclined to sell, and I think he does want to see what's out there as far as what the valuation is of the franchise. I know today somebody from the Northwestern School of Business came out and said that based on their valuation, at the minimum you're looking at $2 billion or more for the White Sox franchise. You have to take everything into consideration. He's 88 years old. He's already instructed his kids that they are to sell the team when he leaves, when he dies, when he leaves Earth, and to keep obviously the Chicago Bulls as the main source of income for the family. The thing I don't like about it, and I'm calling bullshit on, is the Dave Stewart play. Dave Stewart, for those that don't know, he's an ex-baseball player. He's obviously held in high regard within the MLB, but he's been trying, and he's a part of this baseball group, this collective of people trying to get a team to Nashville. If Jerry Reinsdorf really wanted to sell the White Sox, there's people with a bigger bag than Dave Stewart. He can go to one of the Ishbia brothers, Matt Ishbia, Justin Ishbia. Matt Ishbia is the majority owner of the Phoenix Suns and the Mercury. His brother Justin's got bread too. $5 billion is their net worth. They live up in the area, kind of like up in Winnetka, Wilmette area. Dave Stewart isn't gonna buy the Chicago White Sox and then take them to Nashville. MLB and Rob Manfred are already in discussion about adding expansion teams, Nashville, and they've talked about other cities. The MLB owners get about $30 to $40 million each when an expansion team is added to the league. So when an expansion team is put into the league, the other owners reap the benefits of that. If you were to take a franchise and move it, they don't get that. So I don't think that that's the play. I think this is more of a play of two people, kind of helping each other, try to get Dave Stewart's name back out there as, hey, we're trying to get Nashville going. Remember me, and Jerry trying to kind of play both sides. But if he were to ever sell, this is the time. I mean, he's talked about the fact that regional sports networks are dying, so a franchise are losing money from that. He's come out as recently as 2 years ago, basically lambasting Steve Cohen in New York and about his type of ownership. Jerry is anti the owners that come in with the bag and try to just spend the win. Jerry's idea of owning is, hey, I want to win, but I also want to kind of, keep some money in. I don't want to be ridiculous. He was the one that literally said, and he was basically a comment about Jeff McNeil. Like, he said something about along the lines of, you have idiot owners that'll come in and give somebody $125 million for batting 250. And now every player that's batting 250 that plays second base thinks that that's what they're going to get. So we already know where he's at. And I think as he's seeing the landscape, this game is not for him. He's 88 years old. So, let's just be real. We're calling it what it is. He's not long for this earth. He's lived a life. Not a lot of people even get to live to 88. Why wouldn't you just sell, go ahead and break off the other people? People also got to remember he has the controlling interest, but there are other people on the board, and there are, boardroom members that, he has to do right by them as well. This team is about 8 to 9 years away from being legit, like just like, hey, in the playoffs and being able to watch them in October. Y'all think Jerry Reinsdorf has 8 to 9 more years of like functionally owning a team? Like, let's be real. This is the time for him to kind of just see what's out there, see if the city's going to play ball. They're not. Nobody's paying for you're not getting no public funding for any of these stadiums anymore. You got billionaires. He's been getting over from the state for the longest by, because he's not paying the crazy the fee for ticket sales, because he's not going over 1.8 million sold in ticket sales. So he's running a franchise making hand over fist, and it makes sense. But there's a lot that goes into play, as you're seeing now. CHSN is not on Comcast, the largest provider here in the Chicagoland area. And contrary to what you saying, Scott, like, oh, they'll get it figured out. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime soon. And I don't think people know this. The Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche, their network has not been on Comcast, which is the biggest provider in the Colorado area, for 5 years. In those 5 years, they've won a championship, both of them. And people, if you lived in Colorado, you wouldn't be able to watch them unless you had whatever other company had it. So it's not just they'll figure it out down the road thing. Like some of these companies just say, fuck it. Like, no, we're not gonna get to it. And it had basically been reported, and it was in the Sun Times this morning. It was back page. The Chicago White Sox and Jerry and Wirtz and Rocky Wirtz, owner of the Blackhawks, they want their channel to be sold at the second tier Comcast price of what basically NBC Chicago was. They don't want it to be a burden, even though it already is for the previous subscribers. They don't want it to cost more. And similar to like Marquee with the Cubs and like Yes Network with the Yankees and everything. And Comcast is like, no, we need to make more money off this. We want to put it on the highest package tier, and that's what it is. And they're not anywhere in the middle. Yesterday was the Blackhawks home opener. It was not on TV. The Bulls play next week. It's probably not going to be on TV. And that means this year, because of Connor Bedard, the Blackhawks will be playing 18 primetime nationally televised games. So those are 18 chances for the people that don't have Comcast and don't have, that have Comcast that refuse to get DirecTV or the antenna to see Connor Bedard and to see the upcoming Blackhawks. The Bulls play 0 national games this year. So if they don't strike a deal throughout this season, there are people in the Chicagoland area who will not watch them for an entire calendar year. So that is all dipping into the pockets as well. So when you put all of this into perspective, I think both things could be true, Scott. I think you could call Jerry on his bullshit, but I think he would be a smart businessman to look at the landscape and be like, let me at least see what I can get out there. I just don't buy the Dave Stewart and the Nashville thing because they want their own identity over there. And like I said, the goal is for the owners to make money. If a team is brought into Nashville, an expansion team, each franchise will get like a check for like $20 million at the end of the season. Of course, they're going to take that instead of taking the White Sox. And then let's just be real. Even though we are the second team in the city, it's still the third largest market in the U.S. And even being the second team and being on the South Side, they will still generate more ratings, bring in more revenue than anything in Nashville. So, yeah.
Bang, give me quick thoughts and then Dante.
Yeah. I think Mikey is right. Dealing with cable TV before, he's 100% right on everything that he said, especially the Jerry Reinsdorf shit. Jerry Reinsdorf ain't got 10 years and stuff too. But I also believe this is a time where all of the broke owners are getting the fuck up out of here. And it's hard to say people who own teams are broke, but yeah, there are a lot of broke owners out here. And what I mean by that is exactly what Mikey said. You have a lot of building that's going on around stadiums, and you need capital for that. And the White Sox need a new stadium to do that. And since they need a new stadium to do that, to keep up with some of these areas like that you see in MLB and NFL and basketball, what they're trying to do with the Bulls is basically, to me, sounding like they're trying to sell off the White Sox to pay for everything that they're trying to do with the Chicago Bulls, because that whole building around the stadium is the shit that you need to do to survive right now. So this is not a time where the broke owners have to get the fuck up out of here. And as far as baseball goes, Jerry Reinsdorf right now is one of those broke owners. With that being said, I don't believe that the Dave Stewart thing is the play. Mikey, you're right on that again. Not only are you right on that again, I think it's more of a play to fish out other people that could possibly become people that would be interested in buying a team, because similar to what they tried to do in the late 80s when they were planning to move the team to Florida, and they did everything that they could to make it look like they was going to do that, and Illinois at the very last minute strike the deal to keep the White Sox from going to Florida. I don't think that baseball wants Chicago to lose two teams. They don't want the Mets and the Yankees. They definitely don't want the Mets to leave New York. They wouldn't want the White Sox to do the same. They want their big cities to have what they need to have. So Major League Baseball is also down with the play that's going on right now. I just think you're waiting on another owner outside of Dave Stewart and that group to become the owners of the White Sox.
100%. And just the last thought. Got to remember, Dave Stewart is Tony La Russa's boy. Like, it's this little fucking clique of Jerry and Jerry and his people. But at the end of the day, if he's gonna sell this product, he still has to do right by the other owners and the other people that have shares in the team. He's gonna move it to somebody that's got big pockets and let it be what it is. So it's gonna be interesting, but just like you said, man, when it came to hiring Steve Cohen, Jerry Reinsdorf was the only owner that voted no against it. When Mark Cuban was trying to get into baseball, guess who was the owner that voted no on Mark Cuban trying to get into baseball? Like, it's Jerry. So it's a fucked up situation, obviously, for Sox fans to think of your team leaving. But right now, they're just coming off of setting the record for the most losses in regular season MLB history. They could leave right now, and I probably would not give a fuck.
Go ahead, Dante. Close us out on this.
I think Jerry's definitely serious about selling the team. The cost of business has just been too much, and the game that he loves is not the game that he is in right now. Like, that the way he wants to win is just not going to happen. I think he's finally starting to realize that. Dave Stewart, whether he gets the White Sox or not, I think he is number one for that Nashville expansion team. I think Nashville is definitely going to get a team. It's just a matter of when they make the announcement. I think that's more so coming after they finalize the Oakland A's stadium situation. I'm sorry, the Vegas A's stadium situation. But as far as the White Sox, I think he's very serious because at the end of the day, he knows he's not getting his new stadium. They already rejected the 78. They already trying to reset that up where they have, a stadium for the White Sox and the Chicago Fire. So that's, once you start doing things like that, it's like, nah. And so I think moving the team would be ridiculous simply because of the market, as Mikey said. So I think it's one of those things where it's okay, I can make some money here and use that to rebuild up around the United Center, which I want to do. And I know the city's not going to give me money for that. So I think, he still has his cash cow in the Bulls, and that's always been most important. If you look back to when they won the World Series, they asked Jerry, what did he want to say to the fans? And he said, go out and get your Bulls tickets, Mike. So, that's his baby. That's his bread and butter. So I think it is serious. I think, like we've seen, the sports landscape is changing. Owners are trying to get out of here, take their profits and run. And these are the people who bought these teams for a few $1 million. So, you can make an 1,000% return on your investment. Most of them are going to take that, especially the ones that are a little bit older. So I think they won't leave. They won't leave. The Major League Baseball won't let that happen. But him selling, I think, is very possible.
All right, y'all. We're gonna be back in just 1 minute. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna bring Courtney back. She's been waiting in the green room for like 10 minutes. But we're gonna bring in. We're gonna talk a little more baseball, and then we're gonna get into some football, man. So we'll be back in 1 second.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so.
And we are back here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Bang will be back in about 10 minutes. You know how it is when we talk baseball. Courtney, what is going on? I'm saying hi because Courtney always says I don't say hi. Hi, Courtney. How are you doing on this great Friday afternoon?
Wow. Hi, Scott. I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for asking.
That is awesome to hear.
No, for context, this man will hit me up asking me to do something and will simply not whatever happened to hello.
I get that a lot. When I put the link in the chat one time and y'all was like, I think it's Mikey was like, please. And I get that a lot. So I'm trying to. I said when I was in London, I told my brother something. And then I just turned up for no reason. He was like, nigga, you be going 0 to 100 for no reason. And then I caught myself doing it multiple times. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do. I just be turning up for no reason. And then it just peeping. So I'm gonna start saying hi more. But anyway, how are you doing today on this Friday? What's been going on with you?
Hey, I'm actually doing pretty well. My concern is though, and I told y'all I was a little superstitious. The Dodgers have been playing better when I haven't been watching, when I haven't been following. Well,
now you're watching.
I've been watching and they've been playing like shit. So I had to turn it off. Again, I'm just trying to make a sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, please turn it off. I had them in my parlay. See if they can come back. Turn it off.
Well, they should have come back, but
Freddie Freeman, you cannot go down taking that pitch.
Correct.
Looking, not getting the bat off your shoulders.
Game.
Inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
Well, the Dodgers right now losing 9-2, so it looks like the Mets are going to stave off elimination tonight, which I kind of expected. It's very hard.
The bottom of the fourth, though.
Yeah, it is the bottom of the fourth. It is the bottom of the fourth. I just don't.
If the Dodgers were going to get back in the game, they would have when the bases were fucking loaded.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just saying it's not entirely impossible considering the game that we've already seen thus far.
That is very true. They could. I think it's going to have to take better play from the bullpen, and I don't know how deep Dave Roberts or baseball Doc Rivers wants to go into his bullpen heading into this weekend. But let's just talk about the series in whole. The last time we talked on here, they were getting ready to play the Padres, and the Padres, and let's be real, they screwed the pooch. I was watching that game 5 in my London hotel like 3:30 in the morning, and I saw the Dodgers come back, and it feels like the Dodgers, despite a lot of their pitchers being hurt, they're finding a way to win games. The offense is stepping up. Shohei Ohtani have what an amazing playoffs that he's been having. His first ever postseason. Mookie Betts has not been great in the playoffs since he's been a Dodger. He's been stepping up. He's been having a good postseason, especially this series. Courtney, what have you seen from the Dodgers? And I think a lot of people, I think maybe half of us picked the Padres. What have you seen from them, and has your opinion on their chances to win the World Series changed?
I think it's definitely changed. I think I said before this Padres-Dodgers World Series, or not World Series, before that series started, I said that whoever won that series would win the World Series. And I still stand by that, even with now the Padres going down, because I did pick the Padres to win. For the record, I did have the Padres winning that series. But for me, it's obviously Shohei has been Shohei. Mookie has stepped up because, like you said, he has been kind of mid in the playoffs. But it's some of the other guys in the lineup that have stepped up, like Kike Hernandez and even Max Muncy, who was struggling at the plate for quite some time. And, the middle of the order kind of getting things together for the rest of that lineup, and the bullpen stepping up as well for the Dodgers.
Mikey, I know you were real big on the Padres, man. What have you seen from the Dodgers that we haven't seen since they won the Mickey Mouse Championship a couple years ago?
Just their offense is relentless. I mean, with Ohtani being able to set the table, you go into Mookie, like Courtney said, Kike Hernandez has been a revelation. Like, he always seems to perform big every time he's in the playoffs. And they're just getting timely hitting. Unfortunately, it's not happening right now through 4 or 5 innings. But just offensively, like, it's hard to go 1 through 9. Today, Andy Baez, center fielder for them, comes in, hits a solo home run. And these are things that the lineup can do, 7, 8, 9 can do. Once the top of the top of the orders of the guys are doing their work, then it puts a lot of pressure to try to get through the rest of that lineup. So I'm still worried about their pitching. I still think in the end of the day, we get a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. I think that would be the best outcome. It's been very rare that we've had 2 stars go up against one another in a championship format like that. I mean, you have to go back to, for me, I would say you'd have to go back to, LeBron versus Steph, where you get that in, American sports, getting 2 of your top guys. Even then, they weren't really, they were 1 and 2, but some people might have had Steph 5, like getting Ohtani and Judge is like kind of like the finals that we never got with Kobe and LeBron. So
LeBron wanted to lose to Hedo Turkoglu.
Yeah. So I think that this is set up perfectly. You get the 2 largest markets. Obviously, the games still need to be played. The Guardians game last night was amazing. But the Dodgers probably just gotta shake this off and go back. And I think you're gonna do it with the bullpen game, Courtney.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where it gets tricky. But Scott, like, I seen you tweeting that like bullpen games in the playoffs are terrible. I agree with you, but this team literally has no choice. They have
they have no choice.
Yeah, they have no choice. Yeah. Right, like the Rays of old, like they would do that strategically
on purpose.
The Mets kind of are doing this. Like, these are 2 teams with very thin rotations. So the Dodgers are gonna have to do it, all the way through. Ohtani can't pitch, Glasnow's down, Kershaw's down, Dustin May is down. They're just gonna have to go with it. I think it's actually gonna be Walker Buehler for Game 5.
Game 6
or Game 6. Yeah,
they got 2 days. No, not 2 to 1. I'm thinking today.
Yeah, the next game is on Sunday night.
It's next Sunday night.
I think it's gonna be Walker Buehler. I just seen. So Godspeed with that one. The offense is gonna have to show up.
Dante, man, what's your take on both LCSs we've been watching? Obviously, we were talking about the Dodgers, but last night we saw a clash. That was one of the best baseball games I've ever seen, with the Guardians staving off going down 0-3. Big Christmas hit a big 2-run home run. That was after Aaron Judge hit a massive home run. Michael Stanton hit another home run going back to back. And then Fry with the walk-off home run. What do you think about what you've seen in these two LCS series?
I think right now Cleveland's just delaying the inevitable. Like, obviously, I love it because it was a classic game. You always love those. We got some great calls out of those last two. Well, really, all four of those home runs. But if I'm the Yankees, Aaron Judge just finally woke up. Juan Carlos Stanton has been carrying this lineup, which should be scary for everybody else who's still left in the playoffs because, you know, he was somebody who we wanted that nigga to just be there. Like, is he going to be here and be healthy? And I don't mean he's there, but he's playing really well. And Juan Soto is Juan Soto, bro. Garrett Cole has been amazing. So I think, you know, I picked the Yankees to win the World Series this year. So I still think they're going to take care of business in that series. And with the LCS, the league is lucky the Dodgers don't have pitching because they could really make this shit look easy if they did.
Right.
The fact that they don't have pitchers is why we're getting what we're getting right now, especially tonight, because this is just a joke. But I still got them coming out of the National League. I think with Shohei, it was interesting that he was hitless with nobody on base, you know, until he hit the home run last night. But Mookie waking up, he's been basically asleep for the last 3 playoffs. That's been big for them. So, you know, they really needed to win today. I hate to see this because I think Freddie really needs to rest that foot because he can barely walk. So that's not going to be good for them going into the playoffs. I mean, going into the World Series, because I really want to see, you know, Yankees, Dodgers, your 3 best hitters, my 3 best hitters, just these superstars really, you know, healthy and ready to go.
Bam
so,
for bam.
Yeah, so it's been a great LCS on both sides so far. But I think with the the Guardians, you just delaying the inevitable.
Problematic.
You know that. You're just delaying it. You're delaying the inevitable. Like it was a great story, but again, you know, the big dogs are gonna come out on top. The AL Central is cool, but it's always it seems to always be a barrier that they run up into talent wise.
I just believe Cleveland sports fans deserve nothing. So, and also, I'm a big city guy. I want to see New York and LA going at it. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to be able to wear my 1981 World Series Dodger cap. That's all. I bought it like 2 years ago at the sneaker shop downtown, and I was like, one day. I hope I can wear it.
Courtney, close us out. What you think about the ALCS?
I mean, I really don't think about it that much. This sounds terrible. Like, last night was a great game. Don't get me wrong. And what the AL Central and Cleveland have done this year. But yeah, I feel like we're just delaying the inevitable, especially if we're not going to get like prime J-Ram, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see Jose Ramirez in the World Series, but I don't think Jose Ramirez wants to see Jose Ramirez in the World Series.
I don't want to see Jose Ramirez. I don't want to see Jose Ramirez doing anything. But that concludes. Who has microphone issue right now? It sounds like somebody's battling outside. But that's it for our baseball talk, man. We got some games. Of course, by the time we come back, maybe the World Series will be set, or you know, we'll see what's gonna happen with that, man. We're gonna bring Bang back in as we're gonna talk some football. As well, Bang's not back yet. He's in the chair. When they gets to the chair, we'll bring back yet. But we're gonna talk some football, man. Week 7 about to kick off here, man. But we're talking about trade deadline on local hour with what Ryan Poles should do. But 2 big trades have already happened, and they include big receivers. Just like I said on this show weeks ago when DaVante said he wanted to get out of there, I said let's just cut the bullshit. He's going to Jersey. He's going to the Jets, and that ended up happening. DaVante Adams traded to the New York Jets for a conditional 3rd-round pick that can be a 2nd-round pick, and the Jets will be paying the remainder of DaVante's contract. He, of course, he has a big bromance with Aaron Rodgers, the only nigga that loves Aaron Rodgers on this earth. We saw it on the TV show Wide Receiver, where that nigga couldn't wait for the Jets to come to Vegas because he just wanted to kick it with Aaron. He got his wish. Kind of, I said it was gonna happen, but the way they lost to Buffalo on Monday kind of just reaffirmed everything I thought. Being the shit human being that he is, he threw Mike Williams under a bus. I want to act like he's been playing well himself. I don't think that this changes much for the Jets. That's all Aaron Rodgers hate aside. I'm a big DaVante fan. I love DaVante, but this is like that Spice Adams meme where he said a toothpick changes everything. Where you look like the same nigga in each picture. That's what this trade is. I don't think it's going to change much. The offensive play call still stuck. Nathaniel Hackett still sucks as offensive coordinator. They're in disarray with their coaching. Aaron still doesn't look good, and I expect he'll look better with DaVante, obviously, so he ain't got to keep throwing to Lazard. I'm interested to see how this is going to affect Garrett Wilson. I think they'll be a better team. I think will have a winning record. I think it'll help, but like in the grand scheme of things, they're still not going to win the division. I still don't see them making any type of significant noise, but what Aaron wants, Aaron gets. He's got that franchise by the balls. No matter how much he wants to go on Pat McAfee and say he had nothing to do with Robert Salah getting fired, like I was born, my nigga, but I wasn't born yesterday. I just don't buy that whatsoever, man. But as we bring Bang back in here, man, I want to go to Bang, man. What do you think about this DaVante Adams trade? And do you think it helps the Jets in any type of way?
Well, I ain't gonna front. I'm still shocked and surprised that the Raiders sent him to the place that he wanted to go. That lets me know that I guess him and Antonio Pierce in the organization has some type of a decent relationship. But if you out there talking about you got a hamstring issue and you ain't playing for 3 weeks, I'll trade your motherfucking ass to the worst team in the NFL. With that being said, I don't think it's going to do anything but boost up Aaron Rodgers' confidence. But I don't think it's going to do anything to move the needle for the Jets. The Jets are still a borderline playoff team with a pretty decent defense and an offense that's sputtering, not necessarily because of anything but the age and the health of the quarterback and the offensive efficiency that's being delivered down from the coaching staff. That's why the Jets are who the Jets are right now. And getting DaVante Adams is not going to do anything but give you a wide receiver that gives you some good routes. I don't think this is going to move the needle to what they wanted this to be, and what they expected this to be was to be all in on winning the championship. The Jets didn't get Aaron Rodgers to win the AFC East. They got him to win a Super Bowl. So if they're not in the running to win a Super Bowl, you could have got goddamn somebody else to wear number 17 to catch a pass.
Mikey, man, what you think about this this trade with DaVante heading over to the Jets?
I mean, for me, I've always liked their connection. They've shared that rare QB1, wide receiver one, kind of like telepathy when it comes to knowing where you need to be on your route, where it goes to throwing the ball. They've always had that connection. I just hated that for 10 years it was against my Chicago Bears. I do think this will help the offense, just off of the fact that we know that DaVante Adams has reliable hands. I mean, the Jets right now are top 5 in the league in drop passes. Aaron Rodgers is still getting the ball out in 2.5 seconds, even though the offensive line is pretty bad. His wide receivers have just been suspect outside of Garrett Wilson. So I think in the passing game, it might take about like 2 weeks for them to click. I don't know when their bye is, or I don't know if they had a. I don't think they had a bye, being that they were in London and came back and played on Monday night. But I would say probably within 2 weeks they'll be able to regain that chemistry again. Nathaniel Hackett is no longer calling plays.
Their bye week is week 12.
Okay, so what was that about? About
like end of
4
November.
or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they'll have that hammered out there. Nathaniel Hackett is no longer calling plays, but they still have the same playbook. So I think they'll be fine there. I don't know what it does for them overall, just because their offensive line is so bad. They haven't been able to run the ball as effectively as they did in years past, and that sucks because you kind of do have a workhorse in Breece Hall back there, and they haven't really been able to open up any of the running lanes for him. I don't think that this team is has been catapulted to Super Bowl contender. I think that they're about to go on a nice little stretch because their schedule kind of works out. If they can play buddy ball between just Adams, Garrett Wilson, Conklin, run the ball, I think that they'll win some games, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not going to win anything of note come playoff time.
Courtney, then Dante.
I really don't have anything else but to echo Mikey's sentiments completely. They gave the keys to the kingdom to that fucking 40-year-old anti-vaxxer, and now they just got to deal with the fallout. And the fallout is making that man happy by any means necessary. Firing the coach. I've never seen anything like this in my life where the dude fucking is going on Pat McAfee, and then you got DaVante. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, that was I hated that. Like,
it's just a fucking circus, and
it's like when
and he's the ringleader.
I saw a joke on Twitter that said that him coming on Pat McAfee was like when your boy FaceTimes you announce he's getting married, and then this girl come out the corner of the FaceTime. Like that's what that shit look like.
Sure.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, and I'm not concerned with the New York Jets at all. I think Aaron has lost a lot. I don't know. I won't officially say washed, but I think, he's not who he used to be. I think DaVante is still good, but it won't be enough for them to really compete and do anything in the AFC when it comes against playing against the better teams in that division. So the Jets, I could just continuing to be the Jets. Their owner is one of the richest owners in the NFL, but he also has made some of the worst moves. And Bill Belichick talked about it, saying,
Bill Belichick be bombing on them niggas.
He fried them, but I mean, he was absolutely right. He was like, "This is just what the Jets do." So I mean, you're doing all this, they still can't protect Aaron, and he can't move how he used to move. So we're gonna see how this works. So I think short term it'll help him. But in terms of them actually trying to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, who's old as hell, I don't think this helps them that much.
The other wide receiver trade that kind of I feel was kind of maybe a response to this DaVante trade. Amari Cooper got out of the Cleveland jail and will be heading to Buffalo. Like I said earlier, you have never seen a nigga be happier to go to Buffalo, New York, than Amari Cooper. He is traded to the Bills. The Browns will receive a 2025 third-round pick and a 2026 seventh-round pick. The Bills receive Amari Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round pick. I love everything about this trade for my boy Joshua Allen. They have not had, they've been having a good season, a better season I think a lot of people have expected so far. A nice bounce-back win on Monday after losing the last two. But I think Amari Cooper is going to come in and help tremendously. I think some people have already forgotten that Amari's a really good receiver. I mean, he was cooking with Joe Flacco last year. Just because you got Freaky Sean, who is top 2, top 3 worst quarterback in the NFL right now, we forget how good Amari is. And I think that this is going to just help the Bills already. Is now Josh Allen's going to have a go-to guy who is not gonna be a diva like Stephon Diggs is. And now they've got a running game in Buffalo to go along with it. So I absolutely love this trade for the Bills. We'll go Bang, Mikey, Courtney, and then Dante. What y'all think about Amari in Buffalo?
Oh, I love this trade right here because you got that man out of hell. He got a white savior in Josh Allen now he got to deal with. I love this trade for the Bills. It shows that they were in on the DaVante Adams situation, but they didn't get him. So they got the next best thing, and I think it's going to be very helpful for that offense. So great job, Buffalo Bills. Just hopefully your coach don't fuck it up.
Yeah, for me, it's a good pickup. The Buffalo Bills are top 6 in the league and wide receiver drops with 11. My issue with this deal is Amari Cooper leads the NFL with 10 drops. So I don't know how that's going to solve unless he just magically decides that he wants to catch the ball now playing up there in Buffalo. So I still have to see it play out. To me, I feel like he's kind of lost a step. So I'm not really moved by it. It definitely was a response. I think the Bills were in on DaVante Adams, but clearly he just wanted to be with Aaron Rodgers. But I'm not really moved by it because I think the best of Amari Cooper has already passed.
Yeah, I believe that Amari Cooper can help them. I think Buffalo, with Josh Allen, with the talent he has, you just need good receivers. I think that's one of those teams where you don't have to have a, great or elite wide receiver. He just needs good receivers. And I think Amari, even if you believe that, he's not what he once was, I think a lot of it comes with the situation too. Like, I know everything going on in Cleveland right now with Deshaun Watson and the quarterbacks. So I think, playing in a team that's not winning, you have guys who, they play down to the situation. I know it's a different sport, but just look at Jazz Chisholm ever since he got to New York, just being in an environment where teams are winning, teams thrive, and teams are trying to go for a championship. It can make, bring the best out of you. So I think the Bills are planning on that being the case with Amari. And so I really like that move a lot. And I think this is going to be a team that, man, the AFC is going to be tough come playoff time. Because I think, this is a move that definitely helps Buffalo out a lot.
And we were just talking about it. Courtney just said the game ain't over. Page just hit a 5-run homer. Not 5-run homer.
5-run homer.
What the fuck?
What kind of
They're playing backyard baseball over there.
The Pablo Sanchez, nigga.
I mean, it's a 5-run game.
Shit turned to rock and jock real quick.
The Kobe Bryant crossover of MLB. Remember that game? It had 20 pointers. But go ahead, Courtney. What you think about this trade?
I mean, it's obviously a great move for the Bills quietly, and it's something that I've been thinking about, especially seeing that Juju Smith-Schuster is also limited. The Bills did waive Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Now, I know that's not like top billing for anybody, but that Chiefs wide receiver room is like very depleted right now. I'm wondering when that call is getting made because they could use the help.
Yeah,
that's my only thought.
Let's move on to another AFC team, our former quarterback, Mr. Justin Fields. After having, I think, he had a Justin Fields 6 game. Let's just be completely real about it. Like we got the full Justin Fields experience with him having some wild plays, him having some bozo plays. But despite that, the Steelers are 4-2 right now, second in the AFC North behind the Baltimore Ravens. But Russell Wilson is available to play, and he took all the first team snaps this week. Mike Tomlin has been very, low key about what he's going to do. Even saying today that he's picked the starter, but they're keeping that in-house. And then a couple minutes later, shout out to the Steelers beat reporters for asking George Pickens if he had spent any extra time with Russell Wilson. And George Pickens said, yeah, more than usual. You know what I'm saying? We did little things after practice because, it's his first start. And bam, there you have it right there. If you needed any more proof, Russell Wilson will be the starter this season. We're not going to see, this Sunday on Monday Night Football. I'm on Sunday Night Football. And by the way, great pickup for NBC. Sunday Night Football, you get Russell Wilson's debut, DaVante Adams' debut for the Jets, and two teams that need dubs right now. That is going to be an interesting game. This is what I said, man. I've said this about Justin. I'm going to keep saying it. He is who he is. He's not a bad quarterback by any stretch of the means. But he's just, I think, depending on the situation, he's a starter. I'm not completely mad at them going Russell Wilson. And Justin said this himself. Justin is a very honest dude. I covered Justin for a couple seasons. And Justin is somebody who he's a man of few words, but if he has something to say, he's going to say it. And he said he didn't play that well. He didn't play good enough for this not to be a conversation. And Justin, maybe he helps the run game with his legs, but passing wise, he's not great. And so you still want to see if Russell Wilson has something in that arm. Now, I'm not expecting Russell Wilson to come out and, light it up. I think he's definitely lost a couple steps. But if you look at Russell Wilson last year, Russell Wilson did not have a bad season last year. I don't blame Russell Wilson for the way that the Broncos season went. I think it'll take a couple games to get his feet under him, but I understand why Mike Tomlin is doing this. And worst case scenario, if Russ sucks, you can just go back to Justin. That's just how I look at it, man. And I think that for Justin Fields' career, I'm really interested to see where it's going to go from here because he is a free agent coming up. I mean, both of them are free agents coming up, but Justin isn't proven like Russell Wilson is. So is his future as a backup quarterback until he finds an offensive coordinator that can maybe, unlock him a little bit with Geno Smith? I don't know. But I think what you're seeing is what I was saying since January. Honestly, Mikey's been saying even before January. Mikey was saying this at the beginning of last season, that Justin just is who he is. And I think that people are finally seeing it with him not being on the Bears and now people want to question Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? If there's any coach on planet Earth, in the NFL right now who deserves the benefit of the doubt, it is Mike Tomlin. And worst case scenario, like I said, if Russell Wilson's huff, you can go back to Justin Fields, man. So to me, I don't have a problem with this situation. And I actually think that once Russell gets his feet on him, I think you're going to see a better passing game. And I think you're going to see the younger wide receivers maybe even do better with Russell Wilson out there. Mikey, what you think about Justin getting benched?
I mean, I've been watching a few of their games, on Red Zone and on Sunday Ticket. Really trying to, see what that offense is looking like. I got a lot of boys that are Steelers fans, and just to be honest, it's business as usual with Justin. He's dynamic at times with his legs. He leaves a lot to be desired in the passing game. I mean, that Raiders game, he had a terrible stretch, like 3 terrible throws that weren't even like competitive throws, and just took them, out of field goal range and getting any points. The defense was able to, to force some takeaways and give him some short fields, and they were able to score. Najee looked good running the ball, but he just leaves too many plays out there to be desired, and it cost them. That Cowboys game was a winnable game. I mean, they did, have the lead. And the defense folded, but even then, there were opportunities in that game to tack on more points on the Cowboys, and they just couldn't do it. Justin is very honest, like you said. So I think he's not throwing a fit. I think he also knows that his season isn't over. He will be playing. I think it'll behoove them if they still throw him in goal line situations, say anything from the 7 on down, to utilize his legs. Because he has been a weapon and has been automatic in scoring when they get down there, when they, use that RPO. So it just kind of is what it is at this point. I think this is, where Justin is going in his trajectory. I don't think there's, unless he gets with somebody that completely changes his throwing mechanics and makes it less robotic and less long, I don't see him having success as, a starting quarterback in this league, but he can definitely, collect checks as a backup.
Dante, you were one of the staunchest supporters of not having Justin leaving the team. Has your opinion changed anything from watching him play with Pittsburgh?
No, because I mean, unfortunately for Justin, it's one of those situations where, while it was a better situation in a sense, but Tomlin was going to give him a shot, it's kind of turned it into a similar situation where you have a talented wide receiver in Pickens, good running back, but the old line that was playing so well and he had started to get a rapport with, you 2 of them are out for the season, and things just really haven't looked the same since. I think it's a point where, like, to Mikey's point, because like I've watched, like, I'm still a Justin guy, so I've watched every Steelers game. That Raiders game, the stretch Mikey was talking about was the third quarter. He missed. I mean, it was in the second quarter. He missed Pickens twice, and then he missed another receiver where they could have. It was like two 20-yard chunk plays that he just flat out missed the guy. But in the same vein, Pickens dropped a touchdown. So, like, it's still one of those situations where, like we said in his last year with the Bears, it's not just perfect and Justin doesn't just blow people away. He's never going to get the benefit of the doubt. Like, that ship has sailed. And so since you paid him and Russ the same amount of money, it's like, all right, well, let's see if we can get more out of the passing game with Russ. I don't think that's going to be the case at all, because I think their O-line now, especially with Jayden Daniels, who was having a great season, him being out for the year, and the other injuries on that O-line, I don't think Russ is going to have the time to throw the ball the way he wants to. So, with that being said, I think Justin will get back in there, but it's unfortunate because unless he's just lighting it up, it's always going to be like this. It's always going to be can we be a little better? Can we, add a little more to this offense? And it's kind of a disservice because even in the first 2 games, they really didn't let him throw the ball. Like, he was running, they were running the ball. Like, they were running the ball. And then when you saw in game 3 and 4, that how they started to 3, 4, and 5, they started to throw the ball more, really incorporate more downfield shots. And they were a couple plays away from being 5-1. So to have that, and then it's still not enough. It's one of those things where they got to kind of have to see what you got with Russ, because he was going to be the starter. So I think Rush will have a shorter leash than people think, because he didn't play bad. He had 10 total touchdowns, 1 interception. He fumbled, I want to say 3 or 4 times, but he recovered all of them. So you're not losing us the game. But that's not how the NFL works these days. They want quarterbacks to go out there and win them the game, or be, have a major chunk of the responsibility for them winning that game, even in a city like Pittsburgh, who has a great defense. So, I mean, I don't think he should have been benched, but I'm not shocked that they did it.
I mean, I think the Steelers are learning too. What's the old quote? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I think they're learning that right now. Bang, what you think about this situation?
First of all, the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers always come off the short bus. Like your head coach is like, yo, I ain't made no decision yet. And you go on TV and be like, yeah, getting ready for his first start. Man, the every wide receiver that the Pittsburgh Steelers have, something's wrong with them.
They come pre-drafted with CTE. It's already an attachment.
Yeah, what we say on summer sessions. They was in one classroom in my high school.
Yeah, they was in They was in the class with Bunny Colvin and Susan Porter Wire.
Right. With that being said, man, I expected this for a couple of reasons. One, we got to see if we got to get a Bears a pick, a different pick. So we got to see what we got in Russell Wilson, and if he huffed, then we just go back to Justin. But Justin said it, man. I didn't play well enough to make this decision hard for Tomlin. If he would have played lights out, they probably would have signed his ass to an extension. Let alone Russell Wilson ass will probably be in Miami right now. If that was the case, he would be on another team. He would be with the Raiders, or he would be with Miami, a team that needs a quarterback, and they could use it right now. But Justin did not play enough to curb the decision. So the decision has been made, and I expect Russell to be decent. Scott, you said it. He was halfway decent last year. He was also with a coach who didn't want him in the fucking first place. So if we love Mike Tomlin and the way that Mike Tomlin coach and how he can coach up players, and even though he don't coach offense, it's just the aura that he gives people, I expect Russell to lead them to a playoff berth.
That would be interesting.
They 4-2 right now, shit.
I mean, look, I think that if he gets in the groove right away, I'm with you. I'm still a Russell Wilson guy. Like I still think passing wise, he can give a lot more than Justin. But I think it's a win-win situation for the Steelers. You're not married to any one of these niggas. Like, and for the people who said, I think it was Albert Breer said that some people in the Steelers who don't want Russell Wilson to start. Well, if Russ comes out and he's playing well, you niggas will get over it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to win games. So worst case scenario, like I said, Russ stinks, you can go back to Justin. What's Justin gonna play? No, I ain't gonna play. No, niggas playing for their contracts, man. So to me, that's why it's a win-win. Quickly, let's talk about this next topic, man. The GOAT Tom Brady. We all know that he is one of the main commentators on the NFL Fox right now. He was officially approved as the new Raiders minority owner. He owns 5% of the team. But majority owner Mark Davis rolled out the red carpet for this nigga on a couple days ago. He had the whole office out for him and everything like that. But we also hear from Pat McAfee that Tom will be having a major influence on decisions made. So, which is not shocking. I don't think Tom Brady would do that if he didn't have any actual, say so, I guess. A lot of these minority ownerships, they're not really doing anything. But here's just a list of Brady's restrictions from that, what he can and what he can't do while owning the Raiders. Number one, you see that he cannot go to another team's facility when it comes to actually covering the team. He can't do that because of tampering rules and things like that. He's not permitted to witness practice of opposing teams. He's not permitted to attend broadcast production meetings, either in person or virtually. He's prohibited from publicly criticizing game officials and other clubs. Subject to NFL's gambling policy, and he's subject to the NFL's anti-tamper policy. Now, to be very clear, he has been following these rules since the season started. So this is not a new thing for him. This is something that he has been, doing. But one thing that, by the way, Courtney, that's got to be a fine for you telling us what happened before it showed up on my TV. After that Mookie Betts.
Dang, I don't know, you might need to get your internet up, big dog. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, all right. Anyway, and Courtney told me to get my money up. Anyway, but I don't think any of these are that big of a deal outside of the criticizing officials and stuff like that. To me, that's a big part of being an announcer. Like, I want to know what's going to be like the threshold on that. What's the punishment? Who's actually going to be enforcing that? But besides that, this sounds like a great deal to me if I'm Tom Brady. I'm getting paid $300 million to do half my job. That just sounds amazing to me, man. Bang, what do you think about the restrictions here for Tom Brady with the ownership?
I mean, shit, you kind of said it. Yo, I'm getting all this money, and I ain't got to do shit but show up to the goddamn announcer's booth. Wow, that if anybody should be mad about this, it's Greg Olson.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, damn, he can't do the job. He's just talking about it because he's the owner. So not only is he owns 5% of the Raiders. He got a job that he's getting paid what I probably should be getting. And he drops me as the man. If I'm Greg Olson, I'm like, man, fuck all y'all right now. But yeah, if I'm Tom Brady, he winning.
Courtney, Dante, do you have anything in this, or we can move on?
I think it's silly as fuck, and I wasn't too excited for Tom to be a commentator, and I think it's kind of pointless for him to be a commentator now as an owner. But I mean, he is the golden child. He's gonna do whatever he want to do.
I echo the sentiments. I just think it's kind of silly, especially since Greg Olson was so good at it. Also, I feel like Tom Brady. Again, I mostly listen to Scott Hansen anyway. I don't listen to the audio on the games. I'm a big fan of Red Zone. That's my go-to.
Me too. Yeah.
So I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I just think it's kind of fucking silly. That's all.
Damian Hernandez says in the chat, did MJ have restrictions? No, because MJ wasn't a commentator. He has these restrictions because he's calling games. If he wasn't calling games, this wouldn't be an issue, man. It's time for a segment we haven't had in a couple weeks. Mikey, we are glad that you're back and healthy, my boy. We haven't been on for a couple Fridays. Do you have some bets for us? What's going on the betting list for this week?
I do have a couple single plays and a money line parlay for the guys this week. So my first play this week is going to be Jameson Williams over 46.5 receiving yards for the Detroit Lions. As we know, Brian Flores loves to blitz, and there hasn't been a quarterback duo in the NFL yet that has attacked the blitz as much successfully as Jared Goff and Jameson Williams this year. He's gone over this number 4 times out of the 5 games that they played this year. He's 4-1 on that. So we're going to ride with Jameson Williams over 46.5 receiving yards. Our second play is going to be for Monday Night Football. We got 2 games this week. Thank God for the first game, Ravens Bucks. We're going to go to Zay Flowers over 59.5 receiving yards. Zay Flowers has been electric over the last 2 weeks. He's had 21 targets. 16 catches, 243 receiving yards. Tampa Bay has allowed the 4th most passing yards per game this year. We're seeing Lamar Jackson being able to do things in the passing game this year that that we've been wanting to see from him. I think honestly, for me, he's my. I think he would be up there probably to repeat as MVP. So I like Zay Flowers to go off. So over 59.5 receiving yards. And then we're going to go into our money line play. It's going to be very nasty, but we're going to wake up very early Sunday, and we're going to root on the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the New England Patriots. I just think they've been there for a week now. They know that their coach's job is on the line. I think they were embarrassed last week. They've been embarrassed all season. So we're going to go ahead and take the Jags. We're going to go ahead and add those to the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the New York Giants. Saquon revenge game. We're going to parlay that with the Niners to beat the Chiefs, and we're going to cap it off with Monday Night Football Ravens to beat the Bucks. That's plus 416, actually plus 516. That $100 get you 516. So those are our plays this week. I've been extremely hot on my Twitter. Not doing that well this on the season on the show, but I'm hoping to bring some of that luck from Twitter on over to the show this week.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man. If you missed this, of course we're gonna post this on Sunday, before the games, man. We're gonna wrap the show up with our week 7 picks, man. Mikey just brought it up. Nothing says Monday morning like Trevor. I'm it was Sunday morning like Trevor Lawrence versus Drake May, in London, man. Of course, we're gonna go me. We're gonna go the other way. We're gonna go me, Dante, Bang, Courtney, then Mikey with these picks. Jaguars, Patriots. I mean, look, the Jaguars stink. The Patriots also stink. I saw some things from Drake May that I liked last week. I also saw some things from Drake May that I didn't like last week. But honestly, if the Jaguars don't win this game, they need the ass beat, and they should leave Doug Peterson by the Westminster Bridge if they lose this, man. So I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. The Patriots are just bad, bro. They number one pick bad. So I'm really gonna go with Jacksonville on this one.
Hey man, Jacksonville getting that win back.
Give me the Patriots. Jacksonville's defense fucking atrocious. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, it's nasty, but I gotta ride with the Jags, man.
This next game, Bills, Titans in Buffalo. Bills trying to go for 2 in a row on the Titans. We don't know if Amari Cooper's gonna make his debut.
He's playing. He's playing.
He's playing. Okay, cool. Officially, Amari Cooper will be making his debut in Buffalo in front of Bills Mafia, man. I think that the Titans, defensively, they're a decent defensive core, but like Will Levis is still their quarterback. I got the Bills winning this one. I got the Bills winning this one pretty easily.
I'm going to go with Buffalo because, I mean, what Tennessee, man, they spent a lot of money this offseason to be very mediocre. So I'm going to go with
They
Buffalo.
really did. They really did spend a lot of money this offseason.
Going with the Mafia.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills too. Me and Dante were so high on the Titans to start the season, and they have done absolutely nothing with it. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Buffalo. Titans are super banged up. Buffalo playing at home, better team, better quarterback, better supporting cast. Give me the Bills.
Now these next couple games, we got some good ones here, man. Packers, Titans in Lambeau Field. I don't call them check down. Look, my eyes can't deceive me, Jordan Love. I'm just gonna say that you're not fooling anybody with your play. Okay, I'm not buying the great future quarterback stuff that people are selling. He's going to get a big test against this Texans front line, a team that is played really, really good, and CJ Stroud coming up against that defense. I got the Texans winning on the who burped. That is another. Is that the second burp?
I didn't burp.
Bang, we got to go to the review booth. Was that a burp?
No, I said I didn't burp.
I don't know.
No, I did not.
Y'all know me. I don't give a fuck. If I did it, I tell you I did it.
I did not hear a burp on that one.
Okay.
I heard a small cough.
All right. Okay. All right. But I'm gonna go Texans on this one. I think the Texans win another one, and I think that this is gonna be a very, very close game, and I think that they're gonna get to Jordan Love a couple times. I'm gonna go Texans in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texans too. One of the beautiful things about the Bears having the toughest remaining strength of schedule is that the Lions are number 2 and the Packers are number 3. So I mean, we'll get some leeway there, and I think this is one of the first times where we see that because I think the Texans are going to go up there and take care of business.
Definitely.
I am going with the Texans in a rout. Jordan Love is going to cough up 3 interceptions in that game.
That's a hot take. I'm still going with the Texans. I'm still not in on the Packers right now. Give me Houston.
So I'm the only one going against the grain. I'm going with the Packers in this one, and it should actually be comfortable. The Texans defense is really banged up. They're down 5 players on their starting defense. Azeez Al-Shaair's out with a knee. Kamari Lassiter's out with a shoulder. Linebacker Henry To'oTo'o's out with a concussion. Their safety Jimmy Ward is out. It's very tough, obviously playing on the road. And honestly, the Texans do not have that one impressive road win yet. They went to the Vikings and they got skunked 30-something-7. And I think we're going to look at something similar here in Green Bay. So give me the Packers on this one, unfortunately.
All right, man. We get, even though this game on paper doesn't look that good, it's the NFC East. And NFC East games always have stupid finish alert on them. Giants, Eagles. I'm taking the Giants, and this is why I'm taking the Giants. Look, I do not like how the Eagles are playing. I do not like Cheesesteak Matt Nagy, who even made me hate him even more for that crap he pulled last week, yelling at the fans like, nigga, grow up. And I think that Jalen Hurts gets away with murder. And I have no football reason for why I'm picking the Giants to win this game. I'm pretty sure Malik Neighbors is out again, but it just smells like a stupid Eagles loss. So I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one. That's how I'm rolling.
I am going to go with the Eagles. As much as we hate cheesesteak Matt Nagy, they even planted some shit on Reddit where they were talking about, well, he was just having fun with the fan. I still think they'll have enough to get it done with the Giants. I think Daniel Jones is just inconsistent. He's like Mikey said, the white Justin Fields. You know, he has his days where he like, damn, he might be kind of figuring it out, and then you look up and it's like, okay, no, this is still Daniel Jones. So I think with that being said, I'm gonna go with Philly.
Shout out to our producer Nikhil. He said that Malik Neighbors will be playing on Sunday.
I am gonna go with the Giants, man. If the Giants don't got nothing, they got a pretty decent defense. Shit, hell no, I'm not going with no goddamn Giants. AJ Brown back, DeVonta Smith back. I think this shit with the Eagles is kind of overblown. We just don't like the head coach. The Eagles in the route, man. Saquon's gonna go off.
Yeah, give me the Eagles. They got all their key pieces. Give me Philly.
Oh, this is Saquon returning to MetLife.
Yeah, and I can't confidently take the New York Giants in anything right now. Their offense is at home. They played 3 games at home this season. They've scored 6 points, 15 points, and 7 points. They're right now 29th in the league, averaging 16 points a game. They can't move the ball, even if Malik Neighbors is back. I just don't see how they do it. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I kind of want to change my pick now. Now that I know the Saquon's going, this is game. But I'm gonna stick with it. Giants. This next one is the best game of the afternoon slate. One of the first of many NFC North wars we're gonna see these next couple weeks. The 5-0 Vikings are taking on a team that's right behind them. They're like a game behind them, and they might be tied for first this weekend. They will be hosting the Detroit Lions. Lions, of course, coming in there. No Aiden Hutchinson. The defense, to me, especially the secondary, can be had. I think this is going to be a very, very good game. I think the Vikings finally lose. This weekend. I think this is going to be a shootout because I'm just not a fan of that Detroit Lions defense. But I think that Jared Goff, I think that the Sun God, they're gonna do their thing, and I think that they're gonna go out there and they're gonna get a win out there in Minnesota.
I'm gonna go with, man, this is gonna be a really good game. And like part of me is kind of waiting for the Sam Darnold, roof to cave in. But I don't think it is yet. Not just yet. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings get it done and continue their undefeated season.
I'm going with the Vikes as well. I don't trust that defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson was that defense. He ain't there. Got to go with the Vikes.
Where's the game?
It's in Minnesota.
Give me Minnesota. Something about that stadium. I don't like the vibes there. Give me Minnie.
Yeah, give me the Vikings. I mean, missing Aiden Hutchinson really is big. The Detroit Lions have 73 pressures this year. 45 of them are by Aiden Hutchinson. They had 15 and a half sacks. Aiden Hutchinson had 7.5 of those. No pressure on the D-line. You also got to remember Marcus Davenport is out for the year for the Lions. So that's a really banged up Lions defense. And it's going to make their cornerbacks susceptible to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I believe TJ Hawkinson is questionable and might actually be making his return for his first game this season. So give me the Vikings. It's going to be a tough one for the Lions.
This next one, man, we got Falcons, Seahawks at the Benz. Falcons, I think they had their bye week last week. I think the Falcons had a bye week last week. And so they're gonna be coming off this, getting ready to play the Seahawks. Man, I like what I see from the Vikings this year. I like what I see from Raheem Morris. I like what I see from Kirko. He's really acclimated himself to Atlanta. The Seahawks, they're a decent team. I think they're gonna fall off a little bit towards the end of the season, but I'm gonna go Falcons this week.
Yeah, I'm going with Atlanta. I think they keep it going, keep the win streak going. The bins will be open. It's always a fun atmosphere in there when they open the top. And like you said, yeah, Kirk is really getting comfortable. Like not only with the city, but just within the offense. They had him doing some things he hadn't done since his Washington days, but he's getting really comfortable. You see the weapon. Shout out to Darnell Mooney. He's played really well. I think they get it done and keep the win streak going.
Hey man, I said at the beginning of the year that the Falcons was going to be a team that possibly end up being the number one seed in the NFC because of the division that they're in. So I got the Falcons on this one. The streak continues.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here. The Falcons are the number 24 team in rushing defense in the NFL right now, so I'm expecting a big game out of Kenneth Walker. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Falcons. They're starting to peak while the Seattle Seahawks are reeling. You also have to take into account this is a very long flight for that Seattle team to get down to Atlanta and play a 12 o'clock kick. Do they play the noon game or the 3 o'clock game? Either way, it's a long ass trip. And I just think, I do agree with Courtney. I think they need a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in order to keep this game close. But I just think that there's going to just be too much points from Atlanta.
Next game is the Battle of Ohio in Cleveland. The Browns will be hosting Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Burrow and the Bengals got a very unimpressive Sunday Night Football win last week against the Giants. But nigga, Deshaun Watson can't even throw to me right now. They don't have Amari Cooper, obviously. They do get Nick Chubb back, which should help them a little bit. But the Bengals defense, that's how bad we're gonna know that if Deshaun Watson can't light up this Bengals defense, then they need to take that nigga contract and rip it up in the middle of the field after the game. If there's any game for Freaky Sean to look good, it's in this game right here. I don't think he got it in him. I'm going with the Bengals in a very, very close game.
Yeah, this is gonna be a terrible game, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals as well.
Go with the Browns.
So what?
I feel like I'm gonna regret it.
He didn't want to.
Going with who?
He didn't want to say it out loud.
Oh, you going with the Browns?
Like Michael.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna regret this, and I got the Bengals as my AFC pick, so I shouldn't be picking against them. But I'm gonna go with the Browns on this one.
Oh, I don't
remember the Browns play the Bengals very well.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Bang. I don't want to say it too loud either, but I fear that Myles Garrett has Joe Burrow's number, and I gotta go with the Browns, but not because of Deshaun Watson, in spite of him.
Yeah, give me the Bengals. I can't confidently pick a team whose number one wide receiver is Jerry Jeudy.
Oh man, this next game is definitely gonna be worst game of the week. Colts and Dolphins. I have no football explanation for this. I'm going Colts.
I'm gonna go Miami. I'm gonna go Miami just because I fuck with Jalen Ramsey. That's literally the only reason I'm picking them.
Joe Flacco playing?
No, Anthony Richardson is starting.
No, man, Dolphins.
Oh my God.
Dolphins. Yep, go Dolphins.
Can I change my pick?
Who's starting at quarterback for the Dolphins?
Huntley, Snoop, right?
Pro bowler.
Oh my God.
Pro bowler.
Oh my God. This
Quarterback.
Give me the
game.
Colts, man. Give me
This
the
is gonna be the
Josh
best. Watch this be the best game of the weekend.
Former Pro bowler.
Shootout. Anthony Richardson versus Snoop Huntley.
Yeah, give me the Colts, man. I guess.
This next game is you niggas better win, because if not, you gonna hear me on the timeline. Commanders Panthers. Look, man, we talked about Jayden in the main hour and how he, gets away with a lot of murder. That nigga better light up the Panthers. And I hear they can't only do that to the Panthers. That nigga better light up the Panthers. I know that much. I know that much. That nigga better light up the Carolina Panthers.
Scott, why are we pitting two bad bitches against each
No,
other?
no. Nope. When one bad bitch talks
What
about my
is
bad
this?
bitch, we got a
This is
problem.
crazy.
No,
Yeah,
no. That
two baddies
you
talking
you you
together
missed the local hour. He is now my mortal enemy.
because
He
of
is
a fan
now.
vote,
He
because
is.
of a Pepsi Zero
No,
Sugar
it's not even that. Not even that.
fan vote, Scott.
The way that the media talks about him, it's like the flirting versus harassment man. That is exactly what the Caleb and Jayden is. So he is now my mortal enemy. But having said that, I'm gonna go with Washington because they better do it. They better beat the Panthers.
Yeah, you got to go with Washington in this one. Like the Panthers earlier in the season, I was, saying, oh man, they might. No, the Panthers are still really bad. They're still a really bad football team. I think that continues against Washington.
The Washington Commanders is looking past the Panthers because they're looking forward to that game against the Bears at 3:25 at Week 8. The Carolina Panthers will win in an upset.
You know, it's funny, man. I could see them looking too far ahead. I really could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what we're all wondering here. When's Bryce Young coming back? Because that was supposed to just be, we're gonna sit him down for a couple weeks. Andy Dalton had that flash in the pan game, okay, where it's like everybody looked like they were playing, to kind of prove a point, and the Panthers have been mid so far. Yep. Now, Bang, I agree with you. I think that the Commanders are really kind of looking forward so far that they might be missing what's right ahead of them. I still think the Commanders are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. But give me Washington.
Yeah, y'all are tripping. Y'all are getting your Bears bias ahead. I mean, you're talking about you're talking about
no Bears bias.
I mean, not you. I'm talking about Bang. Listen, the Panthers are giving up 380 yards a game. They're 29th in the league. The Washington Commanders are second in the league, putting up damn near 30 points a game. This is going to be a rout. Scott, for your own health, I hope that Jayden Daniels doesn't throw for 400 yards going into Bears Commanders.
Hey, that nigga better not have 220 with one touchdown and one pick. We gonna have a discussion. But anyway,
they're gonna tell you he only played 3 quarters and he didn't have to play the 4th.
Oh man, next game, Rams Raiders, which is gonna be a home game in SoFi because Raiders fans are in Los Angeles very, very heavy. Rams coming off their bye week. Raiders not first game without DaVante because he ain't played since he wanted to get traded, but first official game without DaVante. There's nothing positive going on with the Raiders. I got the Rams going winning at the crib.
As much as I like Sean McVay a lot, but I don't like Matt Stafford. I'm gonna go with the Raiders in this in an upset. I'm gonna go with Las Vegas.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders too. This is a game that I feel like they're gonna have to come out and give a big fuck you to DaVante Adams and anybody who believes that they're done because he's gone.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders as well for the same reason. Nothing like a good revenge game to get things back on track. Give me Vegas.
Cooper Kupp is back. 7 catches for 117 yards. Give me the Rams.
Thank you, Mikey. Next game is game of the week. This is not only game of the week because of the schedule, but also the NFL's Fox game of the week. A rematch of last year's Super Bowl. The 49ers will be hosting the 3-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, who them niggas are throwing to Bobby Witt Jr. right now. Like that's just who they have left at wide receiver. I think this is gonna be. I think that neither team has impressed me in this season so far. I haven't been impressed by either team. I'm gonna give the slight edge to the Niners, just because they are at home. Purdy has people to throw to, and I don't think they're gonna do the stupid things down the stretch to allow them to lose this game. Pat quietly is having a bad season. You know what I'm saying? If he was anybody else but Patrick Mahomes, we would be killing them. But I'm gonna go Niners, but in a very, very close game. I got Niners winning this one.
I'm gonna go with the champs. I think Kansas City gets it done. I think this is one of those games that will hype up Pat. Allow him to elevate his play. Yeah, I do understand their receivers have been bad. I do understand Travis Kelce, like he's been running in fucking quicksand all season. But I think this is a game where we see the Chiefs step up to the caliber of their opponent. They understand this is a big game, and they want to set the tone. So I got the Chiefs.
The Chiefs is due for an L, so I'm going to choose the 49ers on this one.
You on mute? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What I was trying to say was I think that the Chiefs got to take an L, and if it's going to be anybody, it's got to be the Niners. So give me San Francisco.
Yeah, I got the Niners. This Chiefs offense just doesn't look right, even though they got Patrick Mahomes, no Isaiah Pacheco. Jordan Mason is going to be playing for the Niners. I think there's going to be some plays made in the secondary by Brandon Ayuk, Kittle. Give me the Niners at home. Chiefs take their first L.
So Mason is playing.
Mason is playing. Yeah, he's not on the injury report as of today, and he practiced all week.
Well, who's their other running back right now?
Isaac Guerrero is a backup. Yeah, Louisville legend.
All right. Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh, man. We've got the Steelers and the Jets. Like I said, Russell Wilson is, according to George Pickens, will be starting his first start with the Steelers. He'll be making his debut. DaVante Adams will be making his debut on the New York Jets. I'm going with the Jets. I think you're going to see a lot of buddy ball between Aaron and DaVante. I think DaVante is going to get a lot of targets, and he's going to get a lot of catches. I think the Steelers, I'm not expecting Russell Wilson to come out right away and just really, really play well. He hasn't played in a long time. I do think the Steelers defense is going to keep him in there. TJ Watt is a beast. So I think in a very, very close game, I got the Jets winning this one, probably by a field goal.
I hope the Jets kick the shit out the Steelers. I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm gonna go Jets by 10.
I got the Steelers. Joey Porter is gonna lock up Adams, and TJ Watt is going to be all over Aaron Rodgers. I'm not gonna say he's gonna take him out, but pause. He's gonna be all over that man like white on rice.
Yeah, I would like to see the Jets win simply to support my Justin Fields agenda. But also, I think it's a little weird that they're choosing now to start Russell. I mean, I understand he's fully healthy now, whatever. But, I think it's kind of weird considering how bad Jets rushing defense is. You think you'd want that advantage of that mobile QB. Anyway, give me the Jets. Ugh, I hate to admit it. Give me the Jets.
Yeah, I got the Jets. This is a good get right game for them offensively. I think they'll be able to move the ball, whereas I don't think the Steelers will with Russ.
To wrap up week 7, we got another Monday Night Football doubleheader, man. First game is Buccaneers and Ravens. Second game is Cardinals Chargers. This first game is going to be really, really good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've been playing good ball. The Ravens been playing great ball in Tampa. Man, I'm going to go Ravens. But I think this game right here is going to be a shootout, man. I think Tampa is going to really, really come with it. They're at the crib. I love how Baker's been playing. But I feel like the Ravens are in a real good groove right now. Lamar's playing excellent football. And now they're figuring out the last couple weeks that, hey, nigga, we've got Derrick Henry. Maybe we should give him the football. And I don't think they have any answer for that grown man carrying the ball. I got the Ravens winning a close game over the Buccaneers. And then in the West Coast game, this one is, one bad team, the Cardinals, one so-so team, the Chargers. But this just got stupid finish look. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. But I think the Chargers going to pull this one out as well. But I think we're going to have two very, very close Monday Night Football games. So I'm going to go Ravens and Chargers.
I'm going to go Ravens. Lamar don't lose against the NFC. I think he has one loss in his career against the NFC. So I'm going to just chalk that one up. I'm going to go with the Ravens on that one. And the second game, the Chargers are just – it's been the same story for 4 years with the Chargers. But, I just don't trust the Cardinals at all. I don't trust Lil Kyler. So I'm going to go with the Ravens and the Chargers.
I got the Ravens, a man in the upset.
Yeah, give me the Ravens and I'm on the fence, but give me the Cards.
Yeah, give me the Ravens and the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. clear concussion protocol. He'll be back. First game on Monday night. I think him and Kyler do some special things.
All right, man. That concludes our week 7 picks. And it also concludes today's episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It's a big sports weekend coming up. We got a nice college football scheduled tomorrow. Of course, you got some playoff baseball and a good NFL slate, man. So we will be back on Monday. Monday is a big NBA show, which means that Courtney and Mikey get the last hour off. Shout out to them. Because we had a lot of big NBA talk. We got 3 guests on Monday for our NBA show. We've got the homie Kaz. You can follow him, Kazim. If you follow Knicks, if you're in the wrestling space, Kaz there. Kaz got so many jobs. It's just ridiculous. But friend of the program, Kaz, he'll be joining us to talk about his Knicks, talk about the state of New York sports, man. New York sports is really getting it in. Both of the teams in the championship series in baseball. The Knicks are getting ready. They're a championship favorite. The Liberty are one win away from winning the WNBA championship. And, of course, the Rangers going to be coming off their Stanley Cup, their playoff appearances last year. So we're going to be talking about that. New York sports. Of course, Bang's probably going to have a little wrestling we're going to talk about with him as well. Pavi, weekend in the association will be coming back since NBA kicks off on Tuesday. We're going to preview the NBA season with Pavi and the homie Big Waz from the Ringer, man. So it's going to be a big NBA show on Monday, man. Anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man, I want to congratulate Lil Durk for winning, for receiving the key to Bellwood and Broadview. I want to congratulate Dirk for getting the key to 2 cities that I don't even know if he's been there.
Shout out, wait. Shout out to the Broadview Family Diner right there on Roosevelt. They're my people. I get the El Greco once a week.
Yeah, so congratulations to Dirk for winning, for receiving the key to the city, man.
Now, shout out to Dirk for going to London and literally shooting the entire video in front of Big Ben. That nigga ain't do no cutscenes. That nigga did a whole video right in front of Big Ben. No editing. Shout out to Dirk. The funniest picture I seen this week was Lil Durk and Central C taking a picture with Roger Goodell. That was hilarious.
But you know what? Dirk almost called it, fam. Dirk said, what was that? Cassie Carlson said that
Cassie did interview
Dirk. I watched it. She said that her prediction was 4 touchdowns for Caleb. He said 5. He almost got it. But King of Broadview and Bellwood, man. Shouts out to Dirk Banks.
Shout out to Dirk. Anything y'all got? Anything else? Nothing. Courtney, you got something?
I got 2 words. Roll Tide.
Oh yeah. Them niggas better win this week.
Yeah, they better win. If not, it's quiet for y'all.
Right,
y'all gonna
exactly.
Hey, they got wins. I'm gonna be in Tuscaloosa next weekend for.
Y'all gonna be in the DiGiorno Pizza Bowl, the DiGiorno Rising Crust Bowl. That shit gonna be on True TV. Y'all keep it up.
It's not delivery. It's the DiGiorno Bowl. Like, you're gonna be in the Bojangles Bowl. All y'all niggas better win this week. But yeah, man, that's all we got for y'all, man. Y'all can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLA-BRO on all social media platforms. Follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Summer Sessions, we'll be back next week. And I'm gonna tell y'all how Pavi was talking to me like I was that nigga lived in London last week. And we're gonna talk about that. Dante don't have his I Party with Pavi pin on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said
you found your wallet, right, Dante?
Say it again.
Found your wallet, right?
It's actually downstairs in my mailbox right now. I gotta go get it. So,
that nigga had a good time.
So it wasn't found, it was lost and someone else found.
But yeah, no, the homie found it because I was in such a panic because you know how you fall asleep when you're drunk and you wake up and I was sleeping too long. Something ain't right. So when I woke up, I knew I had missed my flight. So I just grabbed all my shit and just went to the airport in a panic. And the homie hit me like, bro, your wallet's on the floor. And so bro got back the day after and then just sent it to me.
That's why
I never have to drink with y'all.
That's why I didn't go with y'all, because I had to be at the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yeah, I'm not going with y'all niggas.
Yeah, but I mean, it was my fault though, because I mean, we had the drinks, and then shout out to the Bear fan that ran into us and bought us drinks.
Yeah.
And so when I went in, I probably should have went tequila, then water, and then tequila, but I kind of just
Look,
went
man.
tequila.
When Pappy hits you and says I got a table, it's a long night. The last time Pappy hit me and said I got a table, we were in Delilah. It was first of all, the ratio was amazing. One thing I said about my boy Pappy, there's no cap in his reps.
Not at all.
It was like 4 niggas and like 15 women when we was in Delilah. I have no idea how I got to my apartment last night. So going off that, I knew that, there's no way I'm making my flight if I go out with y'all that night. So, but Pappy will be here. I'm pretty sure he'll talk about it. But I'm gonna talk about on Summer Sessions how this nigga was talking to me like he live in London or some shit like that.
Bruh. I'm finna be in Shoreditch for a minute. And
then this nigga. That's over there on in central London. Yeah. I told this nigga
to meet me Google Maps and shit. I'm like, all right, okay.
This nigga meet me in Russell Park on Saturday. He said, "Is that the park with the restaurant in it?" Nigga, I don't know. Like, and then I get there and there's a restaurant in the park. I'm like, you just wanted to get that off because you knew it was a restaurant in the park. So we'll talk about that on Summer Sessions, man. But y'all can follow Dante at OctoberZonte on Twitter. Y'all can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito on Twitter. And you can follow me at BarbChair Scott on all social media platforms. Next Friday will be my birthday episode. I'm not doing nothing special for that, but I'm just saying. But I will be 36 next week. So we're gonna have a good time too. We got a nice little celebration. I might actually Mikey said he got me on a bet. I'm not gonna tell y'all where we going, but we're gonna have a good time next weekend. But shout out to all y'all for watching. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net on all social media platforms. Follow HB Media at HB Media TV on Twitter at HB Media on Instagram, and subscribe to the patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. Take your phone up to the screen. QR code to take you right to the link, and you can subscribe to any of our 4 tiers. But if you subscribe to the $10 Barbershop All Access tier, new subscribers will get a 25% off discount code on the Barbershop Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com. Get all your Barbershop Network merch, 79th and Hallis regular merch, and 10th anniversary merch. And of course, get your I'm Not Gonna Hold You merch as well, man. Y'all have a good sports weekend. And we're gonna holler at y'all on Monday. For everybody who watches HB Media for basketball, we got a lot of hoops to talk about on Monday, man. So we'll holler at y'all. We up out of here.